uh, to Dr. Savita Gupta ji, ma'am, and dear participants. So we have Professor Dr. Savita Gupta ji with us. Dr. Savita Gupta ji is a professor of computer science and engineering at University Institute of Engineering and Technology, Punjab University, Chandigarh. She has also served as the director UIET and as head of the department for both computer science and engineering and information and technology. She holds a PhD in computer science and engineering with specialization in medical image processing, particularly speckle reduction and enhancement of medical ultrasound images. She was a university rank holder at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. Dr. Gupta has over 30 years of teaching, research, and academic leadership experience. Her primary research interests include medical image analysis, image processing, machine learning, wavelet applications, biomedical signal processing, biometric security, and cognitive computing. She has successfully completed several funded research projects sponsored by DST, MHRD, HSIDC, and the Ministry of Women and Child Development, and has authored numerous high-impact research publications in leading SCI Scopus Index journals, conferences, and edited volumes. She is also the editor of an elsewhere book on biomedical image analysis. Dr. Savita Gupta ji has supervised a large number of PhD and master's scholars, contributing significantly to research in healthcare imaging and intelligent systems. Her work has had strong interdisciplinary impacts across healthcare, medical diagnostics, and assistive technologies. So we are very much honored to have Dr. Savita Gupta ji with us today, and we look forward to gaining valuable insights from her expertise and her experience. So over to you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Prav Kiran Kaur, for introducing me. And thanks to the organizers for giving me this opportunity. So, first of all, good afternoon to each and every participant present here. So, as we know, this is the theme of the ATAL FDP, Emerging Trends in Healthcare. So, I will be sharing with you some of the healthcare trends which are driven by the current technological. Let me share my screen. So, topic of my today's talk is emerging trends in healthcare. Please share if at some time it is not visible. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
So everybody is talking कि healthcare landscape is changing rapidly due to the technological advancements. Virtual assistants are redefining healthcare. AI-powered chatbots are engaging patient engagement. AI is revolutionizing medical image analysis and predictive analytics. Genetic profiling is enabling, we are talking about precision medicine, precision uh, uh, chromatography, precision medicine. So all these are possible because of the latest trends, latest technologies like AI, machine learning, IoT, wearables, smart devices, even robotic. Everybody wants to go for the robotic assisted surgery because it is minimum invasive and enhancing the precision. So all we are the witness of this change in the landscape of healthcare. So what are the technologies behind this change? So I will be giving some insight about all these technologies which are changing the improving the patient outcomes, enhancing the quality of patient care and transforming the health care ecosystem. So my topic or discussion will be around all these technologies. So we are standing at a thrilling crossroads where medicine is meeting the technology, and we are moving in the era of personalized, predictive, and truly accessible healthcare. Now these days, healthcare is accessible to everyone, even to the rural areas. Why? What are the technologies behind that? Because we are talking about the virtual assistants, telehealth, telepsychiatry. All these technologies are making it possible. So I will be talking about tech trends like AI for diagnostics, IUMT, we know what is Internet of Things. So what I will be introducing you Internet of Medical Things for remote monitoring, augmented reality and virtual reality for training, blockchain for secure data, nanomedicine for targeted treatment, and 5G enabled medical devices, because all these technologies are working together. None of the technology can enable or change the landscape of healthcare. All these technologies are converging to empower patients and clinicians, making patient care smarter, faster, and more human. What artificial intelligence is? Everybody knows it is not only a buzzword. It has many capabilities. It can analyze medical images, predict diseases, automate documentation, reduce clinical burnout. So that's why we are talking that healthcare is moving from reactive to proactive healthcare. Earlier, we used to visit the doctor only when we were having the problems. Now, proactive is we are trying to prevent the diseases. How it is happening? Because we are having lot of data, patient data regarding patient outcomes. So, researchers can feed this data to the AI and it's okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, ma'am. You are audible.
There was
Everything is
some
fine.
okay. So when we have a lot of data, so regarding the patient outcomes, the researchers can feed this data to the machine learning and AI algorithms to identify substances which are more effective against certain diseases. So researchers will be able to screen compounds which are safe for humans and inexpensive and easy to create, making the healthcare system most cost effective. So large amount of data from clinical trials, because we have already in place EHR, electronic health record, by government of India, and many governments are recording all the health data. So this large amount of data from various clinical trials and patient records are something which AI is capable of analyzing. So providers will be able to identify which patient might respond better to specific treatments. That's why we are talking about precision medicine, because one size fits all is no more required. One size fits all takes the average data, average parameters of the patients. It is not patient specific. When we talk about precision medicine, we have to talk about the patient outcomes. When we have a large amount of clinical trial for the various demographic population, then researchers can discover the compounds which are better for a particular patient. For example, doctors prescribe azithromycin and amoxicillin 650 for all the patients, which may not be good for patients with less weight, with some chronological conditions. So all these things can be prevented when AI will be in place, and AI will be used for the diagnostics based upon the data. So now everyone might be thinking, before going into deep into all these technologies, I want to share what AI is. I think everybody, all of the participants, if they are from the diverse backgrounds, they should know what AI is. AI is nothing, it is a capability of a system to perform cognitive functions. But cognitive functions are core to the human being, human intelligence. So, such as reasoning, perception, and complex problem solving. And human body is really very complex. So doctors has to deal with this complex biological mechanisms. So until or unless AI system is empowered by machine learning, means it is trained on the vast amount of data on demographic population, it cannot give the right decisions. So AI, machine learning, and IoT, they are working in synergy to bring change in the healthcare system. What IoT? Internet of Things means we are connecting all the devices, all the smart, but those devices should be very smart. They should be able to communicate data to the health provider or any. We know IoT is being used in every industry now. IoT, IoT is being use is increasing in the medical industry, and it is renamed as Internet of Medical Things. So what is IoMT? When we connect the medical devices, wearable sensors, and other pulsometer, oximeter on the internet, and they are transmitting the real-time patient vital signs to the hospital, and it becomes IOMT. So it is the nervous system of all these applications. Until or unless we don't have sufficient data, we cannot empower AI to draw some decisions. So ML is allowing the system, enables the system to learn the data without explicitly programming for every possible scenario. So what we do, instead of giving fixed set of rules, ML system is exposed to vital data sets for which it identifies patterns, relationships, and statistical correlations. So output of a machine learning and AI is a predictive or descriptive model that evolves and improves with data and time. This adaptive learning capability is something which makes AI powerful and flexible for unlimited and less applications. That's why we say AI is changing the landscape of the healthcare. So how pharma industry and medical technology is making use of the machine learning. With the help of machine learning, when we have large amount of data, pharmaceutical industry is using it to discover new drugs. So first drug molecule invented by AI was patented by a team of British and Japanese scientists in January 2020. So already work is going in the direction that we will be having medicines that will be invented by AI based upon the patient data and clinical trials and molecular modeling. And so this medication is universally accepted for human being and will be used for the treatment of obsessive compulsive disorder, that is one of the psychiatric neuro deficit disorder. In the current scenario, many people are having some depression problems and OCD problems. So that medicine is invented for the this particular problem. In 2024, as per the statistical data, number of AI enhanced diagnostic and lab experimenting new medicines have been discovered for potential cures of really dangerous diseases like cancers. You might have read some article. Now chemotherapy will not affect the whole body. It will be targeted for that particular area in which the malignant cells are lying. So how it will be possible? It will be possible with the help of nano robots and smart pills. Smart pills are having some sensors which will penetrate in the body and move to the only diseased place. So it will not be affecting the whole body cells. It will be targeting that particular area in which the malignant cells are lying. So many innovative projects are using AI and machine learning to augment chemical experience. How the drug discovery is fast, because we can virtually simulate chemical reactions under multi-factor environments, under diverse situations. So this will allow scientists to minimize costly on-site experiments with the reagent and high-tech lab equipment. All those biomedical labs or biotech labs, they are using very costly reagents. So these reagents and high-tech lab equipment can be virtually simulated with the help of AR, VR. So it will speed up the discovery of fundamental scientific breakthroughs. Everybody knows chatbot. Chatbots are being used in every industry when we are doing online shopping on Amazon, Flipkart, even Paytm. Every online platform is powered with the supported by the chatbots. They are nothing. They are the AI-enabled computer applications which can conduct human-like meaningful conversations with the help of voice, textual, or text messages or option-based inputs. They are becoming popular in every industry. Now these days, health industry has also started using the symptom checker chatbots. So chatbots are very, very efficient for some repetitive tasks, simple repetitive tasks. So they can be used for symptom checking and consultation in the peak or non-operational hours. As chatbots are accessible through mobile devices 24 by 7 online, so they are capable of providing health advisory based upon the patient inputs and complaints. Although they can be made intelligent to help patients even for acute conditions when human medical assistants are out of reach for some reason. For example, in the disaster induced conditions where the doctors are not accessible or doctors are overloaded because of call centers or so these chatbots can simply help the patient, especially for first aid and preliminary medical diagnostics. So you might be thinking, we also talk about the virtual health assistants. So how virtual health assistants are different from the symptom checking chatbots. Chatbots are simple devices. The difference between the both is only in the scope and intelligence. Chatbot scope is very, very limited. They cannot do some context aware decisions. They can simply do the repetitive tasks, whereas virtual health assistants are more advanced digital innovations. They are advanced, sophisticated AI powered tools designed to provide personalized healthcare support, automate patient interactions, manage medical documentation, facilitate scheduling, and enhance overall patient engagement and care coordination. So, what are these type of intelligent solutions, which are designed to automate and facilitate various administrative functionalities, include what virtual health assistants can do. They are doing wonderful things by integrating EHR data along with in making the decisions. They are many multilingual. They can guide users through online billing processes and ensuring payments are completed correctly and efficiently. They can answer administrative questions from the patients and help resolve administrative complexities. They can provide blood test results and other medical test reports on demand, along with secure verification of patient identities. They can schedule, reschedule, and cancel patient appointments while managing real time updates. They can offer personalized medical advice and send reminders based on the patient history for ongoing treatments. They can assist in filling the prescription and can coordinate communication between pharmacies and medical providers. Now you can see the beauty and strength of the virtual health assistant, how they can reduce the workload of the hospitals and can provide enhance the quality of care for the individual patients. Another buzzword in today's technology world is big data and analytics. What is big data? When the vast amount of data is available, that is called big data. As we know, amount of healthcare data is accumulated in the recent years, that is in volumes, in the terms of medical images like ultrasound, MRI, X-rays. Every patient health data, every hospital is recording this data for maintaining the record in the form of EHR, electronic health record system. It has many modules like medical data mining and healthcare data visualization to support the clinicians in decision making. This massive amount of data can be used or can be processed with the help of big data analytics for figuring out the medical patterns and healthcare trends, which can help the scientists to discover new correlations between demographic, ecology, economy, and many other factors and health conditions of the population. So this big data analytics technology can be used for precision medicine by profiling it can be used for genetic profiling and stem cell therapy. So such data analytics offer opportunities for chronic disease prevention and long-term treatment plans. Even pandemic can be prevented by applying the big data analytics. If we have patterns of data or diseases, we can prevent the disease rather than, that is, we are going to the proactive healthcare by using the big data analytics technology along with AI and machine learning and IoT. So all these technologies are need to work in synergy to change the landscape of any domain. So we are talking here the domain of healthcare. In healthcare, until or unless we have sufficient data of the patient or on any disease, we can't do anything. So how that data is collected, how is data is provided to the healthcare professional, that is possible only through the internet of things. Today we are talking about AIoT, AI-enabled IoT, because IoT is the nervous system of any AI machine learning system. Because IoT is the only network which is providing sensory inputs to the AI system. So IOMT is not is just a specialized part of IoT in which medical and wearable devices, sensors, and other healthcare related technology is integrated with the cloud system. The medical industry expects this network of connected devices to continue to grow in the healthcare landscape. So most of the popular devices that can be connected to the IoT systems are the wearable devices such as smartwatches, pulsometers, temperature measuring meters, heart rate meters, so many devices. Or it can be pacemakers, it can be the implantable devices. Many nano devices have been designed, or smart implants have been designed, which can be implanted in the body to fetch the real time patient data, and this patient data can be used by the service providers to enable the real-time insight and early intervention for chronic disease conditions. So physicians can retrieve this data for review, treatment, and diagnosis. So elderly patients can certainly can take advantage of this technology because they can be monitored remotely. If they are having some variables on their body, that data can be sent to the hospital or their family doctor through the IOMT, and he can take the timely treatment plans and do the diagnosis. So this technology is really a lifesaver for patients which have some chronic conditions and they cannot go to the hospitals every time. Another technology which is very, very prevalent in the medical industry, and you all are the user of these mobile apps daily, health, fitness, Fitbit, so many apps we are using daily. If you visit Google Play or iTunes catalogs, you will find many application wellness apps. These wellness apps can synchronize with wearables such as pulsometers or fitness trackers to use data collected through the sensors placed on your body, and can analyze your health conditions such as pulse, body temperature, blood pressure, and other metrics, and can suggest some preventive actions, and so that you can change your lifestyle or you can take some preventive measures timely, and you can avoid some uh, chronic conditions. For example, if my blood sugar is monitored in the real time, so I can change my eating habits. Similarly, if my blood pressure is fluctuating, again, because most of diseases are lifestyle diseases, so these wellness apps are really helping the our young generation to change their lifestyles, because if they know I am going to be suffering with some disease, then certainly we will take some preventive actions. So already many applications are in the Play Store. We can download and use those applications to improve our healthcare. So it's very new and it is in the infancy. Still many future work is going on smart autonomous devices in healthcare. So, what are the smart autonomous devices? We are talking about the autonomous vehicles. Now, there are autonomous robots or nursing robots or self moving smart devices in the health industry which can support the medical staff by reducing their sanitation related or supply management costs. So robots are replacing some of the sources in the hospitals. So different kind of robots that can work in various hospital-based locations, which protects human employees from being exposed to infectious risks or burnout due to the immense strain placed on many hospitals. Everybody is a witness of the use of these nursing robots in the pandemic, especially COVID-19 pandemic, when people were avoiding the human touch. So most of the works were automated by nursing robots. For example, robot nurses were used by the Italian hospital in severe COVID-19 outbreak. So these smart helpers, autonomous devices, are used for remote monitoring of blood pressure, oxygen saturation levels for the patients, as these were the crucial parameters during the pandemic, as these parameters drop in a matter of minutes with the patient requiring immediate assistance. So these proved very helpful in the handling COVID-19 outbreak. So these nursing robots are really helpful and changing how the healthcare services are provided in big hospitals, especially in primary hospitals where they can afford these autonomous devices. Slowly and slowly, when they will become cost effective, they can be deployed in tertiary and secondary hospitals. Another important technology which is emerging, which is on the rise in healthcare, that is remote patient monitoring. So, but how remote patient monitoring is possible? If IOMT is in place, only then we can provide remote patient monitoring. So we have already talked about the IOMT, through which we are capable of monitoring the wide range of conditions like weight, blood pressure, lung capacity, pulse, all the patient parameters that can be sent in real time to the hospitals, and this can be analyzed by the healthcare provider. If he feels the patient's health is deteriorating, then he can decide whether the hospitalization is necessary or not. So this technology can really reduce the workload on the hospital and avoid unnecessary hospitalization. It is really very cost effective for the patients and improving the quality of life. Another step in RPM is the mobile enabled remote patient monitoring. So there are many mobile apps which send the notifications to the patients, which are to they send the prompt to the or notification to the patient to provide details how they are feeling through the mobile apps only. So this technology can be used for the chronic patients such as heart disease, diabetics, multiple sclerosis, cystic fibrosis, asthma, and many other conditions. Such type of patients, they want to avoid hospitalization, but also want lifesaver. So their guardians can use the mobile enable RPM to help guard their safeguard our elderly persons by using the technology of wearables and IOMT. Now we are seeing RPM, the enabling technology for RPM is IOMT and wearables and mobile apps. And core of all these technologies, AI and machine learning. So all these technological trends are working in synergy. None of them can work in silos. So this change in medical ecosystem, healthcare ecosystem is possible because all these technologies are working in synergy. So everybody is talking about telemedicine, telesurgery. So telehealth and telepsychiatry, they are not new. They were invented they were first used in 1950s and 1960s. in 1950s, first time a closed circuit television, that time there was no internet was in infancy, so all the communication was through some wired lines. So a closed circuit television link was established, or through the satellite. So television link was established between Psychiatric Institute and Norfolk State Hospital for psychiatric consultation. So that was the first application of telehealth. Now this telehealth has emerged as a new means of transmitting medical information. How this telehealth is possible? It involves the use of internet, video conferencing, streaming services, and other communication technologies for the remote provision of healthcare services. How it is helping the very, very useful, because in the rural areas, specialist doctors are not available, and moreover, the rural area hospitals are not equipped with the specialized high-end healthcare facilities. So, provide medical equity among the rural and health urban population, virtual consultation and mobile apps are expanding. Every government is adopting the telehealth, and it has become a universally standard practice since the beginning of the pandemic COVID-19. So this type of telehealth communication will soon gain absolute regulatory approval, so that it can be used in practice by all the hospitals. Although we never imagined that we can provide patient care without, in early days we used to visit the doctor, there were no tests, they simply checked our pulse rate or physically examine our nerve and suggest some medicines. But now these days we ourselves don't believe on a doctor if he doesn't prescribe any test. So most of the medical healthcare today is based upon the medical imaging and clinical test reports. So all these test reports can be done at rural hospitals, but only specialized doctors are which are available in primary hospital. They can read these reports, analyze these reports, and suggest good medicines for rural area. So telehealth, especially telepsychiatry, is very, very useful, where the patient don't want to meet the doctor, don't visit to special. In today's scenario, especially in Indian demographic population, if we are suffering with some psychiatric disease, we don't want to share with anyone. So telepsychiatry is really proving very, very useful for our depression or neurodeficit disorders like schizophrenia or obsessive compulsive disorder or many other cognitive disorders. So telepsychiatry is really adopted by Indian government and many US and China government in the form of various medical apps. Everyone might be aware of CDAC has developed a main telemedicine application e-Sanjeevani, which is a national service used by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It has many modules. It offers patient to doctor, doctor to patient, and doctor to doctor consultation by video. The aim of this e-Sanjeevani application is to provide universal health coverage by connecting citizens to the specialists remotely, especially in the rural areas. This e-Sanjeevani is complemented with another platform, Telemanas, that is used for telepsychiatry for mental health, and another application is Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. All these applications have been adopted by the Government of India and has been developed by the CDAC. So the goal of all these telehealth application, which are universally adopted, is to bridge the digital divide between the rural and remote areas, improve the access to doctors and specialists, affordable access to doctors and specialists, reduce burden on the secondary and tertiary hospitals where the doctors are not available, or most of the hospitals are having only single doctor. So universal health coverage is a step towards digital equity in healthcare. We are talking about equity in every domain. So we want digital equity in healthcare also. So telemedicine or telehealth is a step towards digital equity in healthcare. Already, US government is planning to create more off-site options in the years to come to reduce the maintenance cost of the medical facilities and to make the healthcare services more cost effective. China has already launched a program to make all their public hospitals telehealth enabled, and by 2023 70% of the Chinese hospitals have adopted telehealth. So soon, by 2030, telehealth will be the universally adopted standard and will get the regulatory approval by the WHO. So another important technology which is changing the medical education and helping the doctors, augmented reality and virtual reality. Some people already knows and have used many application of augmented reality and virtual reality in cinemas. They have seen 3D movies, 4D movies. So what augmented reality and virtual reality is, so we know learning is a continuous process, and especially learning in the healthcare is never stops. Every day new medicines came, new diseases came, so doctors have to remain updated in their field. So this is where the augmented reality and virtual reality is playing its role. So it can help the doctors in surgical simulations. So surgeons can practice delicate and complex procedures by creating realistic 3D environments in a surgical suit. So emergency situations can be simulated so that at the right time, right reactions can be, right responses can be given. So it allows the medical students to take quick and accurate decisions in the emergency situations. Possibility of learning about patient care and how to discuss complex subjects with patients. If a patient is, I tell a patient immediately, you are suffering from a cancer patient, cancer. So what his reaction will be, how he will react. So all these situations or patient behaviors can be simulated using AR and VR. So students can practice behaviors and see how they might affect patient outcomes. So human error. So AR and VR is being used in teaching hospitals to help reduce human error due to stress and fatigue. Realistic 3D operating rooms or intensive care areas immerse healthcare staff, allowing them to practice procedures and enhance their skills for real-time situations. And use of medical equipment. Complex medical equipment is not given to the students immediately because it is very, very costly. So these complex medical equipment can be simulated using AR and VR, and staff can practice how to use this equipment using the AR and VR procedures. AR and VR is also improving the rehabilitation after the patient surgery. So patient can regain movement and strength after having surgery or suffering from some chronic diseases because they can do their exercises by simulating the AR VR environments, and health providers can so guide them how whether the exercises are being in the right way or not. Another technology, digital twin technology, which is based upon the mixed reality. AR and VR is used for medical education, whereas MR, mixed reality, which allows you to create the digital twin that can be especially helpful when medical professionals need to perform the remote surgery or other types of distant operations with the help of remotely managed healthcare equipment. Many of you might have heard about it, tele remote surgery during the COVID between the Bihar hospital and Delhi hospital. So doctor was sitting in Bihar, in Patna, and a remote surgery was done in the AIMS, Delhi. So that is was the first example of mixed reality. So with the digital twin technology, we can create a tangible sample virtually. So medical engineers can create a geometrical or physically accurate virtual model of an object or a person which can be tested in a virtually simulated environment. Because a digital twin method help with the digital twin method, it is possible to simultaneously manipulate both virtual object and the real time object. That's why it is called the digital twin. So a doctor sitting at remote will manipulate the virtual object, and the doctor which is at the present at the real environment, that he will do the surgery. So it is digital twin technology is really helpful to perform the remote surgery, and it can save time, cost of developing complex medical products, predict and fix their drawbacks, and improve the time to care. Now, we are moving to the blockchain. Everybody thinks blockchain only in the context of cryptocurrency or security. But how this technology is not only limited to the cryptocurrency or security. It is applicable in every domain where we need interoperability of the data. We want to share some information. When we are talking about the patient data or EHR system, electronic health records, how this patient data can be secured, protected from the unauthorized users. Then here, where is the use of the blockchain? So blockchain technology is really useful for storing the patient health records, and it will be widely used by the end of the decade, because digitization of the patient data is increasing day by day to take use of AI services and machine learning facilities, machine learning technology. So it is presently what we are doing. Every clinic is maintaining their own patient record. When I'm visiting the Fortis hospital, they have my record, my previous history, with to which doctor I visited, what were my clinical parameters. But once I change my mind to visit some new hospital like Max or PGI, what I will have to do? I will have to undertake all the clinical test again, all the diagnostic each time I visit a new hospital. So this is increasing my expenditure and repeated invasive procedures. So how we can avoid that? So government is thinking in terms of creating a interoperable universal database of the patients like Aadhaar. कि patient, my medical history will be linked with my Aadhaar. Once a hospital puts my Aadhaar number, whole my previous health record data will be visible on the screen. So how this is possible when we have a universal database? And when we have a universal database, we need to transmit, means we are storing our data on the cloud, and we need to secure our parameters. So how that security will be provided? So blockchain is a technology which will come into the picture. So interoperability involves creating a universal database that can be accessed by all clinics that serve a particular patient. So by creating a universal data set of the patient records, we will be shifting from the enterprise centered to a patient centered approach. So now this time the healthcare is hospital centric. Now, then once the universal data set is available, then no hospital will work in isolation. They cannot refuse to share data with the other entities. So, whole the data will be publicly available on a single place, and patient can have access to their patient records. They can share their data with the authorized person and seek the medical health services. So European Union is already has already introduced cross border interoperability and enhance the data protection using the blockchain technology. Soon the developing countries like India and African countries are also introducing the interoperability policies to make medical data more accessible and to manage it with more efficiency and with more reliability. So blockchain is a technology which is enabling the big data analytics and AI, giving the AI power, because AI has nothing, cannot do anything without data. Our model improves its capability when it is exposed to vast amount of data, and its learning improves every time it is exposed to new data. So we say deep learning and machine learning is data dependent. So this data needs to be accurate and say, and how it can be accurate if it is stored in a secure environment, how the security is provided. There are many security technologies, encryption, but still they are not foolproof. So blockchain is a technology which can be used the storage, distributed storage of the data with full security. So future, all the medical records will have be stored with the by applying the blockchain technology. I think everybody, anything, is it audible, interesting to everybody? Any
Yes, ma'am.
queries?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because it
Yes,
becomes
ma'am.
monotonous when it is online. I cannot interact with you. I can't ask if there is any queries. Please, you can ask at the end of the. So I will be sharing some more technologies, medical nanotechnologies. We are saying that nanotechnologies has a great role to play in medical, in medicine. So you might have heard about smart pills, intelligent technology, which is making strides in diagnostic testing and preventing misdiagnosis. That is smart pills. What are smart pills? Smart pill with some sensor, diagnostic sensor, to detect disease long before the patient exhibits symptoms. अगर हमारी बॉडी में अगर हम एक स्मार्ट पिल, नैनो रोबोट डाल दें विच इज कॉन्टिन्यूसली मॉनिटरिंग माई ग्लूकोज लेवल और ब्लड प्रेशर, then I can detect the disease long before it happens. So smart pills and nano robots or nano pills are already in the discovery. In 2001, first smart pill was discovered with a tiny camera to monitor the bowels and colon to detect Crohn disease. Crohn disease is very prevailing in the Indian population worldwide. It is due to the inflammation in the intestine. And there are many problems in stool testing. So smart toilets are already in place where stool samples can be taken and it can be analyzed in the real time to detect any bacteria. Similarly, nano robot or smart pill was discovered which can be taken orally or injected in the body to take the monitor the bowel conditions and colon conditions to detect the, so that we can avoid the Crohn disease which leads to internal bleeding in the intestine. So use of nano robots is and nano pills is already in the upswing. They contain miniature motors and cameras to navigate various areas of the body. These robots can be ingested or injected. अभी तक हमने सिर्फ पेसमेकर सुना था कि या small implants which can be injected in the arteries. Now nano robots can be injected in the arteries. They can be penetrated to the disease sites and take photos and send them to the patients or physician for taking the corrective action well in time. So that is the height of the technology which is changing how medicine is practicing, how the health providers are practicing these days. So precision medicine, although it is in the infancy and it will be the technology of the
I have
future.
one question.
Yeah.
So smart pills and that capsule used in endoscopy, is that same or different?
Smart pill and
That capsules that is used in endoscopy, that you can swallow and it monitor, it goes all over your that GI
that is a
tract.
smart pill, na? That is smart pill. There is a small camera in endoscopy. that goes inside in your intestine or
Whole GI tract, it travel whole GI tract, and through stool it goes
yeah,
out.
that are
That is
example
also
of
smart pills, right?
that is also smart pill.
Okay.
Any pill which has some camera or motor inserted in that, that is a smart pill.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Precision medicine, we are all at what is precision? We are talking about precision farming, precision medicine. In precision farming, we are putting sensors on the cows or buffaloes, or in the precision cattle rearing. So all these are the buzzwords of the future, and it's possible because of the sensors, sensor technology. We can put sensors in the farm house, and it can monitor the weather conditions, and take farmers can take the corrective action according to the weather. That is precision farming. Similarly, precision medicine, it will force out the old regime. Old medicine practice is based upon the old regime, one size fits all approaches, and this model relies on the average patient parameters of the population, or for a given population, for Indian population or US population. That is not patient specific. So what precision medicine? It is the patient specific. Different patients have their own biological history and biological chemistry. So one medicine may be good for one patient, may not be good for other patient. So precision medicine will force out this old regime of one size fits all approach. It will analyze the patient data of a particular patient, and will prescribe medicines as per the environmental factors and that patient's personal condition profiling. So patient profiling is possible only with the help of big data analytics. We can analyze the patient patterns. So this will be the future trend, and again it is possible because of genetic profiling. We are analyzing the genetics of stem cell therapy. All these are the outputs of genetic profiling, and precision medicine will be the future. So doctors will be prescribing you the medicine, even antibiotics, how much dose, based upon your individual parameters, rather than the general prescription ki 650, 500, 200. So it will be based upon the personal patient profiling. So this is possible with the help of only universal database of medical records. When that patient data is available, only doctor can go for precision medicine. So in 2025, already innovative projects are expected to emerge, and this precision medicine industry is going to be worth around $10 million. So there is a lot of work going on in the area of precision medicine, precision farming, and so many. Every industry is moving towards precision working. But this is possible only because of AI, big data analytics, and machine learning, which allows you to analyze the patterns from the given data. Another technology, 3D bioprinting and implants. Recently, you might have read a news in the newspaper. Now kidneys are 3D printed, liver was 3D printed, and one patient was replaced with a 3D printed liver and kidney. These days, there is a long queue of wait for the patient which are having kidney damage problem, and kidney transplant is possible only with the if the some donor is there whose parameter match with the receiver, and those donors are very few. Either the some family member gives the kidney, so that wait will be over once this 3D bioprinting technology is will achieve its full. So these days, there is a special type of ink called bio ink, which is used to print the living organs and tissues. This amazing technology is allowing the specialists to create cartilage, bones, organs like the liver and the heart. So these are the top height of anything ki now we will not be required, will not have to wait for the organs donors. So all these organs can be printed. अभी तक जो implant है हमारे heart के implant that are of titanium, some metal implants, their adaptability in the human body is a issue. We have to give medicine so that become dissolve and body becomes adaptable to them. If these implants will be bioprinted, then they will work as good as our own heart, own blood. So this 3D bioprinting technology is really will improve the patient and quality of care in the medical domain. It will really improve the patient outcomes. अभी तक अगर किडनी ट्रांसप्लांट भी हो जाती है, we think कि whether patient will survive for 10 years or 20 years. But once the bioprinted kidneys and hearts are there, then I think the lifespan of the patient will increase. So these are the top trends which are expected to have a massive impact on the healthcare and continue to evolve and become more widely used. अभी ये बहुत मतलब प्रैक्टिकली बहुत वाइडली यूज नहीं है. स्टिल लॉट ऑफ वर्क नीड्स टू बी डन इन द एरिया ऑफ बायोप्रिंटिंग ऑफ implants and tissues, cartilage, bones, and organs. So I have shared some insights about many technologies which are working in synergy. So let's say take a brief summary ki what conclusion we can draw from all this discussion. So healthcare is undergoing a rapid transformation, as we have seen. Bioprinting, 3D implants that are already in place, wearable devices are in place. All these technologies, all these transformations are driven by the intelligent digital technologies. What are the technologies? AI machine learning, which is improving diagnostic, treatment planning, and drug discovery. Now the Internet of Medical Things and wearable devices, which is enabling continuous real-time patient monitoring and early intervention. Tele and health and remote patient monitoring, that is expanding healthcare access, especially for rural and underprivileged population, and providing the digital equity in healthcare and removing the digital divide. AI and VR technologies are enhancing the medical education, surgical training, rehabilitation, and patient engagement. Nanotechnology, 3D bioprinting, and smart implants are enabling personalized and precision-based treatments. How smart implants are leading to precision-based treatment? Because now kidney can be printed as per the patient specification, as per the patient requirement. Heart can be printed as per the patient specification. So that specification can be analyzed through the patient data, and printing can be done as per the requirement. So robotics and clinical automation are reducing the clinician workload. Blockchain and interoperable health systems are strengthening the data security, transparency, and patient trust. We generally bother कि whether अभी आजकल हम बैंकिंग का ही कितना हमें टेंशन होती है कि हमारा डाटा सेफ है कि नहीं. Although everywhere blockchain is integrated. So all already integration of blockchain in banking services and other industries have improved our quality of life. Similarly, when we will integrate blockchain in the EHR and universal database of patient data will be created, and that will be linked to the Aadhaar, our lives will change and patient trust in healthcare will improve. So I have shared some insights, although I have told that these technologies are in place, but much has to be done in various areas, especially in the autonomous AI system, precision medicine, expansion of IoMT enabled by 5G technology. 5G enabled smart medical devices has to be designed. Growth of digital twins, AR, VR, and remote robotic interventions. Remote surgery is still in infancy. it has to be augmented by the digital twins. Advances in nanomedicine and nanorobotics is also in its preliminary stage. Although nanorobots are used for some application, but its use has to be increased widely. Ethical AI, data privacy, and regulatory compliances will become critical research and implementation priority. We are talking about responsible AI and ethical AI. So these will be the areas of research for the future. So multidisciplinary collaborations will be essential to build a sustainable, equitable, and technology-driven healthcare ecosystem. So if you really want a patient-trusted healthcare ecosystem, so multiple disciplines have to come together: nanotechnologists, biotechnologists, engineers, medical providers, blockchain security engineers, data engineers. So all will have to work together to make a ecosystem which will be patient centric rather than the hospital centric, and will provide a effective health care to all the populations, and healthcare will be become accessible and more reliable. That's all I wanted to share with you in this today's interaction. If there are any queries, these are some references. If somebody wants to go through that, they can go through that. So with all this, I would like to thank the organizers and all the participants for the patient hearing. Especially after lunch, it becomes difficult, or moreover in the online mode it becomes very autonomous because there is no physical interaction, although we are talking about virtual health assistants, but still what we enjoy in the personal interaction, that is always missing. Each thing has its own advantages and disadvantages that will always remain there. Thank you and all the best to all the participants.
Thank you
That's
very much for such an enlightening presentation. Dear participants, if you have any questions or queries, then you may ask. Well, ma'am, you have very well said about emerging trends in healthcare, and you have talked about machine learning in biopharma and medtech, and symptom checkers, chatbots, virtual health assistants, big data analytics. Many of the things we have heard about previously, but many things you have introduced new to ourselves, like the Internet of Medical Things, wearables and mobile apps, smart autonomous devices in healthcare, remote patient monitoring, telehealth and telepsychiatry, universal adoption of health, and many more, like blockchain in healthcare, and medical nanotechnology, precision medicine, and this 3D bioprinting and implants. They are really very, very interesting, and they will, I think, become the basis of many of the participants' research in future. So thank you very much, ma'am, for sparing your very precious time when you already have your children
nice.
visiting you from US and other parts of India. So you have agreed to present yourself because we wanted, ma'am, such dignitaries like you to present here. So the participants may be knowing the future scope of healthcare and medtech. So thank you very much, ma'am, from our side. I think no participant is having any questions. So thank you very much, ma'am,
Thank you
again
so
and
much.
again.
It's my pleasure. I really
Thank you
enjoy.
very much, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Rachel.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
Rachel.
ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope I have done the justice for this 1 hour. Or...
Definitely, ma'am, definitely.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you.
बहुत कुछ
Thank you,
सीखने
ma'am.
के लिए मिला मैम आपसे, नया,
Hmm.
हर बार की तरह.
Thank you so much. पर every time it's a learning. तो मैंने भी बहुत कुछ सीखा इस लेक्चर से. और क्यों? Because when you give, then you read. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
ma'am.
much
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you
organizing
so much.
such a wonderful topic. कि आपने इस टॉपिक को चुना इस एफडीपी के लिए. It will be
बस
really
मैम,
beneficial for the
आपकी
participants.
ब्लेसिंग्स ही चाहिए मैम, बस ऐसे
Yes,
करते
ma'am.
जाएं
Yes.
हम.
My blessings are
Ji,
always
ma'am.
there. Thank you. Thank
थैंक
you
यू
so
मैम,
much.
थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, from the core of the heart. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. So, dear participants, we have some around 15 to 20 minutes before our next lecture. So, there will be two more lectures right from 3:30 to 5 and 5 to 6:30, and at 6:30 you will be having your test. So kindly do not panic, just wait and watch what is happening. So you have 45 minutes to attempt just only 20 questions. So we have tried our best to put the very easy questions and very relatable questions that you will, very easily, it will get you into your mind that, okay, this was that and this was that. So, the test is a very essential part of this ATAL FDP, and you have to kindly do not funded research project. As co-PI, authored a book, published over 40 research papers in international journals and conferences, and has guided more than 50 BTech projects, 20 MTech theses, and 2 PhD theses. Presently, Dr. Kumar is also guiding a group of UG, PG, and PhD students in 3D printing alone. He has conducted 10 plus workshops in NSTCs and delivered over 50 expert lectures at reputed institutes. Additionally, he holds 4 patents in his field and is proficient in software such as ProE, IDEA, SolidWorks, AutoCAD, MATLAB, C, and C++. So we are honored to have Dr. Sunil Kumar with us today, and we look forward to his valuable session. Welcome to you, sir. Welcome to the session. Please, you may continue.
Thank you, ma'am, for your brief introduction and nice introduction of mine. So my presentation is visible.
Yes, sir. Your presentation.
Visible, sir. Visible.
Okay. Just want to. Good afternoon, the organizers, Dr. Vipul Sharma and Dr. Prabhu Kaur. I'm very thankful to you for inviting me in this upcoming challenges in medical field and collaboration of medical field with engineering field. To continue this, today I will present my lecture on 3D printing, a game-changing technology in the medical field. So before directly going towards the application of 3D printing in medical field, I will just give a brief introduction about the 3D printing. What is 3D printing? What is its how it is done? Brief about its history. So what is 3D printing? And I think most of you might have heard about the 2D printers or printing, and I think you might also have printers, 2D printers, or namely known as printers with you in your home, in your office. Similarly, when we in 2D printing, basically we print anything in two directions, mainly on single plane, like paper or sheet or photo papers. In 3D printings, we print something which look like an actual body. To print this, what is the basic? That is, we print something in a three-dimensional model. Typically, basically in 2D, we have only one layer. In 3D, we have multiple layers, layer on layer, layer on layer, layer on layer, depending upon the shape which we want to give. We can achieve that shape with the help of 3D printing. The processes of 3D printing are not simply one in just as in our printers. We have mainly inkjet printers, laser printers, then dot matrix printers. You might have heard about these technologies in 2D printing. In 3D printing, similarly, we have additive manufacturing, which is commonly known as 3D printing, then rapid prototyping. I will discuss about the difference of this additive manufacturing and rapid prototyping, and then solid preforms fabrication. So these three are the methods or the processes with which we can print the 3D objects. So terminology generally used are additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing, and basically the difference between additive and rapid prototyping is that in additive manufacturing we mostly print the 3D object with the help of our wire filaments or some powder. In rapid prototyping, typically we have the input as a powder form, and we use some heating coils or lasers to melt that powder and to form or give a shape. Then again, in additive manufacturing and rapid prototyping, we have methods to add something. Similarly, in this 3D printing, sometimes we have to remove the materials. Then comes your subtractive processes, in which we remove the material using cutting, drilling, or even sometimes with the help of EDM. And in 3D printing, specifically additive manufacturing, this step stereolithography uh, was defined by Charles W. Hull as a system for generating three-dimensional object by creating cross-section pattern of object to be formed. This is the history of the 3D printings. As I have said, Charles Hull first invented the 3D printer in 1984, and he was given as a granted patent in 1986. Also, with this stereolithograph, this is also known as SPL method. Another method that was FDM and selective laser sintering, that is SLS methods, were also developed in 1980. In 1993, MIT have given another technology of 3D printing, just which was similar to the inkjet technology used in 2D printers. In 1996, three major products, that is Genesis, then A2100 and Z402 were introduced. The first research into application in pharmaceutical and health sector appeared around 2000, and in 2005, launched Z Corp launched a breakthrough product, uh, Z510, which was the first high definition 3D printing in the market in the field of health. So, in detail, if I say, stereography was the main method of 3D printing to be introduced, and was mainly nowadays also being used in our medical field. Then Dr. Gebro observed that cells sticking together during embryonic development can be done, and he observed this in 1996. In 2000, further the urinal bladder was augmented using synthetic cephalod seeded with the patient's own cells. And then Thomas Bold lab modified an inkjet printer to accommodate and produce a dense cells in cephalodes in 2003. In 2009, another company, that is Organovo, created a NovaGen MMX bioprinter. In 2010, the first human body vessel was produced without use of cephalodes, and 3D bioprinted disease models were made from the human cells. So, how the 3D printers basically work? There are mainly three steps in which any 3D object is created if, in any field. First is modeling. In the modeling, we have to create whatever we want to create. We have to create it in a CAD system or CAD software as a virtual blueprint, and then we slice it in one direction, and then printing is done with the help of different methods we will discuss further. And then it's not that the product has been printed and it is final. Post printing, sometimes things are to be done like sealings or removing buffering or painting may be required, or removing extra material if it has been put by the printer. So these three steps are followed to print the 3D material. In detailing, if I say there are almost more than a dozen of 3D printing processes being used today to create different materials in 3D. The first step in this is to create a 3D model in a CAD file. To perform print, the machine reads the design from 3D printer and then makes its STL file. Doesn't matter which software you are using or what software is being used by the printer, this STL file is required. So you have either the software provide this feature, or we have different software which can create the STL file from a definite or particular CAD software. After the creation of these STL files, then a program is generated. That program is depends upon the type of 3D printer we are having. Mostly, that program is depends upon the manufacturer. Different printers have different some minimum there is difference in structure of the program, and but that program needs STL file, which is created by the CAD file after developing the model. And then it lay down successively layers of liquid or powder or paper sheets, building it in the form of cross section or any design which we provide, or the machine provides us the shape, what type of shape they are giving us and what we want. Then printer resolution describes a layer thinking and XY resolution in as a dots per inch or micrometers. Then XY resolution is comparable to that of laser printer. Then particles are around about 10 to 100 micrometer in diameter, which are printed. And finally, the instructions are also passed in Z direction to build the object vertically layer by layer. So 3D printers, mostly we have these three technologies around us. Whenever we will see the printer or we see the printer in the labs or in commercial, these are the three printers which we use. That is, sorry, I have, that is first is your selective laser printers, then selective laser sintering printer, then fusion deposition modeling. First one was SCL. By mistake, I have written SLS. In SLA, the main principle is that liquid photosensitive polymers can be solidified using UV lights. So we have two things. One, we need UV lasers, and other photopolymers to create our 3D object as per SLA. As per selective laser sintering, that is SLS, it is based on the principle that high power laser fuses small particles of plastic, ceramic, metal, or glass powder. Definitely, the frequency and intensity of laser will depend upon what type of material we are going to use, whether ceramic, metal, or glass, or even plastic. So it has two combinations, that is powerful laser and powder materials. And third, which is generally used or readily available in low cost 3D printers, is FDM, that is fused deposition modeling. In this, we have plastic extruder plus CNC platform. So extruder puts small beads of thermoplastic material to form laser on CNC controller platform, and the material hardens immediately after extrusions from the nozzle. Where these 3D printers are being used, artificial jewelry is being created, smartphones, the body of the smartphone or even some parts of the smartphones, space manufacturing, then 3D printing pens, then in medical application, successfully helped in designing of human bladder, kidney, prosthetic legs, and also useful in research. Then forensic pathology, that is reconstructing of bones and body parts in forensic labs. In medical field, if we say the what is the application or in the depth, we divide it into five parts. That is parametrically, bioprinting, surgical models, prosthetics and implants, and dental application. We will discuss about all these one by one. But why we use this 3D printing in medical field? It provides us these four main features. That is, we can create the personalization or customized product, whatever, because we know the body of each and every person in this earth, and the earth is different, or the face structure is different. If we want to build something like nose or ear, it is different for a different person. Secondly, it is cost effective. We can produce number of items in a minimum time, that is high productivity, and also we can collaborate and innovate, uh, just like it is nowadays being used in aesthetic looks. So, as in general 3D printing, in medical field also, there are three steps. First is image acquisition. In image acquisition, mostly we use CT scan or MRI, and then stereophotogrammetric is designed, and the virtual design is created. Then that created image or that created object in 3D or CAD system is image processed, segmented, is divided in different slides, and then painting is done with the help of your 3D printers with three main technologies, that is SLS, FDM, and SLA. It depends upon that what type of material or is being made, and what technology will help to create that part in simple and more effective way. We can choose any of these. So 3D printing in pharmaceutical, how they are helping us. In a company called Zip Dose, they have printed or created pills by printing in 3D with the help of thin layer of medicine powder form, with layer of water-based binder spread between each of the powder layer. This result is definitely very effective, and it gives flexibility to the pills to be dissolved within 5 seconds. So they have done this experiment and produced the pills with the help of 3D printing, and the pill has dissolved in 3.63 seconds, whereas the pills made with other or OTC fast melting pills, they need more time to dissolve. So how this print pills or tablets are made? The 3D printing process allows a layer of medication to be packed in better porous medium in precise dosage, and possibility to 3D printing drugs on affordable devices could eventually lead to a cheaper medicine. So we have hot melting extrusion process, in which input is our powder form, and that hot melting extrusion processor feeds our these pills or powder pills to the 3D printer, which creates the pills as per the required size and topology. So these 3D printer, basically with the help of medical system, customized system or customer, and volume depending on the volume, gives the value, adds value to the our pharmaceutic, and with the help of this 3D printing, the manufacturing of the 3D these tablets or pills or pills increases, or productivity we can say increases very high. You can see from this graph. With conventional manufacturing, we have fewer units produced in less time, and with the help of additive manufacturing, the units produced can be high, and definitely the cost will be low. 3D printing has a very big role in bioprinting also. Then first, what is bioprinting? This is basically defined as a construction of tissue construction using set of techniques that tracks biological important material onto a substrate using computer-aided specifications and then specialized 3D printers. 3D printer, this is an example of bionic heart developed. I think recently you might have heard about this. A few months back, this was in news. What components are needed in bioprinting? So first is cells, then hydrogels, then bioprinter. Combination of these is poured in the bioprinter, and it gives you a bioprinted tissues or organs. So three phases are involved in this, that is pre-processing, processing, and post-processing. So why we need these 3D bioprinting? Uh, Basically, organ failure is drastically increasing in human beings. Clinical treatments are limited by available donors, and again, if donors are available, their immune system rejects the immune system of patient rejects the donor's tissue. So, in this search for alternative of the pair, replacement of malfunctioning human tissues and organ tissues, 3D bioprinting is being explored and is a promising solution. So, how this bioprinting is done, or what is the process, and what are the cells, how these cells are generated? We will just have little knowledge about this. To successfully create a bioprinter tissues, it is necessary to generate a printing paths, select appropriate bioinks, control the bioprinter, and perform quality control after printing. So first important part is in this is bioinks. So what we do, we first create a model. That model should be look like as the original one, which can be created using reverse engineering with the help of MRI or with the help of cameras. We can build a model in CAD model, and then we can create this STL file and then slice it and give input to the printers. So how to select appropriate bioprinter? The main thing is we will slice this or everything is done. When we are going to print this biomaterial, the bio ink, as we print something in our 2D, we need ink. Laser ink, we have carbon, or in inkjet, we have three types of inks in three colors, and we mix it according to the color we need. Similarly, when we are talking about bionic, then we need bio ink. So what is bioink? So bioink is basically a bioprintable matter. It consists of living cells and biomaterials that resembles the supporting cells. And idea of bioink should possess proper mechanical, ethological, and biological properties of the target tissues. So we have cells, we have biomaterials, we combine both to create bioink. Then bioinks are mainly classified in two ways. One is your stack fold based bioinks, sorry, and other is your stack fold free bioinks. So first one is consists of cell disappeared within biomaterial that help to create conductive environment for cells and pro life ratios, as well as provide structural supports. Whereas the step-fold free bioink provides the cells are bioprinted without the support of hydrogel and other cells are so the cells are loaded in higher concentrations, which then deposit their own ECMs. So cell-fold based bioinks types are hydrogel, which are these hydrogels are of natural type, synthetic, or both high mixture of natural and synthetic. Dicellularized matrix component obtained by choosing tissues into small fragments, slicing the cells and extracting the remaining of ECMs. So microcarriers have recently been used in bioprinting to increase the cell density in bioinks. They are porous particles designed to promote cells, attachments, serial and expansions. So we have some biomaterials, we have cells, and then we have factors. By deciding what type of print we want, that we want some bones or cartilage or skin or tubular structures or hepatic units, we mix these biomaterials, cells, and factors and store them in the bioprinters to print these parts. So to have a bioink, the cell component is very important and it should be autologous and patient specific. As we know, the cell doesn't coordinate with the patient, then it may fail. So to create the cell, stem cell technology is one of the prominent and have the properties of cell renewable and potency, representing an unlimited cell source for 3D bioprinting and regenerating medicines. However, autologous adult stem cell have to be obtained invasively through bone marrow harvesting or adipose tissues extraction by liposuction or least invasively using blood appreciates. These so in this direction in 2006, with the discovery of human-induced uh, pluripotent stem cell, that is iPSC, the patient-specific stem cell lines can now be created from mature cell types also. Previously, this was done when the stem cells were stored with for newborn baby, but now we can do it for a mature person also. And these type of cells, such as peripheral body, blood mononuclear cells, can be taken, and these have ability to reprogram patient-specific cells, also allow for creation of stem cell containing heritable mutations, which can then be bioprinted and studied. This has the potential to improve current understanding of disease mechanism, phenotypic variability, while minimizing rejection when transplanted between back into the host for the purpose of tissue regeneration. So what we do according to our requirement, if we want to recreate our bone, then from the bone marrow drives the stem cells and that are stored as adult stem cells. And if we want to do something related to skin, then fibroblasts are collected from the body, and then with the help of viral reprogramming, we can again induce uh, pluripotent stem cells. And similarly, blastocyst or embryonic stem cells can also be created. So the thing is that we from the patient, with the help of biopsy, the cells are taken, then these cells are expanded, and then with the help of adding additives, bioink is created, and that is given to our 3D print bioprinter to create one particular organ, and that organ is then again planted to the human being, that same patient. So to start the bioprint, there are three methods of printing an organ, that is extrusion-based bioprinting, inkjet-based bioprinting, laser-assisted bioprinting. In inkjet bioprinting, the bioink is stored in the ink cartridge, which is connected to the printer head and acts as the source during the electronical control printing processes. During printing, the printer heads are squeezed by a thermal or piezoelectric actuator to generate droplets of controllable size according to the body part. In extrusion printing, it is basically modification of inkjet printing. In this printer, the viscous materials which cannot be printed with the help of inkjet printers are used. Extrusion printing uses either an air force air force pumps or piston or mechanical screw plungers to dispense the bio-ink from the extruder. And in ancient 3D bioprinter, the bio-ink is stored, and in laser-assisted bioprint, a, a focused laser pulse is applied to stimulate a small area of the absorbing layer. This layer pulse vaporizes a portion of the donor layer, creating a high pressure bubble at the interface of the bionic layer and the propelling the suspended bionic. So, what is being done at present in this field? Cardiovascular tissues has been created using different proliferative cell types. These tissues constructs exhibit synchronized macroscopic beatings and self-assembly of vessels like conducts when co-cultured with endothelial cells. In terms of muscles, the fabricating 3D skeletal muscles constructs that are precisely patterned. The bioprinted cell had high valuable and responded synchronously to electrical pulses. Then there is also advancement in neuronal tissues. Neurons have been bioprinted with high cell availability and they maintain basic cellular phenotypes and functionality for over 2 weeks post printing. These successful development of voltage gated potassium and sodium channels. Then hepatic tissues, that is something or building an organ like liver or kidney has been done. Then the skin has been generated using printing full thickness skin equivalents using alternative layer of bio-ink and a dimeral fibroblast cell suspension that showed high availability after printing. So 3D bioprinting using stem cell has shown much research progress in multiple organ systems. Commonly challenges faced in multiple organ system includes vascularization, availability, and scalability. So tissue engineering using 3D bioprinting technology has promising clinical potential for organ regeneration. And these are some examples that cardiac wall and a printed heart has been 3D printed using cells. And currently, ear has been generated of 250 micrometer cells and formed within 15 minutes. So post processing was 3 months to serve children with hearing loss due to malformed outer ear. And kidneys has also been built layer by layer of setfold and depositing of kidney cells assembled to be transplanted into patient. Similarly, blood vessels, rigid but non-toxic sugar filament forms core and cell deposits around filament subsequent blood flow dissolves sugars. Skin has been grafted and bones has been generated using 3D printing. So in surgical models, the models are generated with the help of 3D printing, with the help of normal 3D printing, SLS or SLA or FDM, which look like a human part. Even colors are provided, the body as equivalent to the body parts, and sometimes some body parts, if suppose if kidney has some issue and due to that issue it changes its color. So surgical models are created according to the doctors or according to the models according to the disease or healthy part of the body. Again, this 3D printing body vessel line tissue that could one day be used to test drugs is also been created. Then 3D printing low cost prosthetic fingers are being created, which can be controlled with the help of mind. Then, if due to some accident or due to some disease, the skull has been removed, the alternative implant of the skull has been generated. These are some other examples of products being made to replace the body parts. So prosthetic and implant is one of the area where 3D printing is being used. That is to have customized prosthetic limbs, patient-specific implants. So, ears, you can see here in this figure, the ears has been generated similar to what the left ear is there, and with the help of CAD model and 3D printing with the help of tissue, it has been created. Similarly, nose, this as to reconstruct if somebody's part is missing, and we can reconstruct, or aesthetic looks can be changed with the help of this 3D printing. So we can have ocular prosthetics, then anoplastology can be used. Nasal prosthetics is being widely used nowadays. Then even with the help of this provisional prosthetics, with the help of laser scanning or CAD, a model can be created and a new face can be given to a patient. This is an example of a nose of an eagle with prosthetic nose. So evolution of 3D in this scanning. First, we have to scan, then we have to create model, then planning session is there, and then printing, and then with the help of reference, whether it's going to be fitted on the body part or not, and then printing and fitting. So guided implant surgery workflow, we have first step in guiding implant surgery to turn cone beam scan on the patient, which provides a wealth of information on the bone density, soft tissue, location, and nerves. Then decom file or rendering of the patient's anatomy is integrated into a guided surgery software program. Then the clinical or the dental techniques are virtually placed and implant and run a series of tests to ensure its best location outcomes. And in last, an impression of the patient's mouth or wherever the part is to fit is digitally with an intraoral scanner or with analog PVC methods is created and scanned. We have also the use of 3D printing in dental applications, where widely or commonly you can see the use of 3D printing materials in dental application. So maxillofacial in surgery, where lower jaw or part of lower jaw is not available, we can create and part in 3D printing and fit in the mouth, or we can even change whole lower jaw. So in this, we have to again, with the help of optical scanner that provides STL file, and that can quickly and simply be overlaid into decom file and provide a comprehensive STL file to be imported to the software for the surgery. And the clinical chooses the type of implant system and the implant size. In this, 3D printing is also used in dental models, in orthodontics, where we want to give a particular shape to our teeth. Then prosthodontics, where not all the teeth are to be changed, few teeth are to be changed. We can create with the help of 3D printing. And then endodontics, in which one particular tooth has to be reframed or reconstructed, we can use this. So putting it together, bioprinting is the main or the printing, 3D printing in medicine field is utilized to combine the growth of growth factor cells and biomaterial to fabricate biomedical parts. Generally, 3D bioprinting utilize a layer-by-layer method to deposit materials known as bioink to create tissues. So for bioprinting, we have some advantage: create detailed biometric 3D structures, availability to impact the extracellular matrix. Then there are disadvantages: ability of biomaterial with stability and desired properties of 3D printing of scaffold is restricted depending on the printing technology used. Then the production time that it takes to fabricate, which dramatically increases as the scaffold design becomes more precise and complex. So to material which we use are polymers, metals, ceramics, and in these shapes we can print them. Uh, Again, accordingly, where we have to fit that part, we can print again with that system. For bionic, uh, we have to focus on psychotoxic cell adhesives and proliferations. Then bioink properties should be focused, like what should be the viscoelastic, sharing things, characteristics, or printability. Then dilation kinetics, structural, hydral degree, what is hydral degree, biocompatibility, and viscosity for uniform cell accretions. So these properties are to be focused according to the body part which we are going to change. Again, to accommodate these all things, we have multi-material bionics, then interpenetrating networks or IPN bionics, where two networks are used. Then nanoparticle and polymer networks are mixed and named nanocomposite bionics, and then super molecular bionics can be used. So 3D printing construct basically consists of PCL, cell A, cell B, and core or micro channels. So pre-bioprinting, we create 3D model from CT scan image or cell isolations. Then bioprinting is done, or bioinks are placed in the printing cartridge, and then bioreactors are studied. It seems very simple, but have some complexity. Complexity basically when we have to print the cell or 3D cell, the rapid prototyping based microfabrication system is very complex and it needs to be tackled. The one who is using this needs a proper training. Then electrospinning technology is required. It is very precise and accuracy is needed. Then cell printing technology, again, a small thing change can make the disaster. Very focused and high precise and accurate technology is required. Then integrative pre-tissues, how to integrate those tissues, and that tissue should be compatible to the body. Its analysis is done, its structural analysis is done, its design of vascular network is studied. Then bioenvironmental metric technology is used, that is to create a cell for one particular body organ, and it should take the shape of that organ. For example, if we have printing the kidney, it should take the proper shape of that kidney. Then bioreactor systems are very again complex. Then verification or regenerative ability of pre-tissues, whether it is liver or bone or any other part of the body. So in 3D printing, there are some opportunities and challenges. Opportunities like expanding international market or parallel markets. It can be targeted age-wise or treatment-wise. And key challenges in this direction are that key patient aspirations, keeping patients and expression, deep pocket competition is there. In another opportunities, customization, psychological optimized joint implants, then comfort and durability. So on demand, we can generate this. The challenges are ecosystem. Again, patient and doctor combination plus money required, insurance is required, then logistics are important. Uh, and another opportunity is that sky is the limit. Tissue to form to full function organ is can be done, or organ transplant, or skin plastic surgery, or faster drug research can be done. But challenges are approvals from authorities, acceptability by the public or the patient, what ethics we need, and then basic business, what is our business focus, and sustainability. For industry persons, we have high cost of manufacturing, then lack of awareness in the industry persons.
Dear participants, please wait. I think expert internet connection is lost.
So, dear participants, sir is again logging in.
Okay, madam. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, your voice is not audible. Sunil, sir.
Sir, we cannot hear you.
Yeah. Now you can hear me.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Please
sir.
allow me to share my PPT. Vipul sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, I am making you co-host.
Okay.
Now, please check, sir.
Yes. Slides are visible.
Yes, visible, sir. Visible.
Okay. The challenges in 3D printing we are discussing are related to the industry. High cost of manufacturing at present, then lack of awareness among the industry and the doctors and the patients. Uh, Still very low industry, or very few persons are working on this. Then lack of raw materials, regulations are to be defined by the respective countries. So if we say what is we are looking for and where we are, if I say in terms of bone or synthetic skins or ear or spinal cartilages or organs, we are in initial stage. Knees and hip replacements, already we are working, and some replacements have been done. Even in if some part of our skull has to be changed, we are doing that, but not at maturity level. Yes, in dental solutions, we are far in our maturity level, that is readily available to the customers, or we can see these dental solutions and 3D printing, but rest of the things we are still in initial stages. So we can say that in orthodontics, business is maturing. In orthopedics, rapidly we are growing rapidly in business, in terms of business, and in terms of bioprinting, still we are emerging business. So bioprinting is still and emerging field we can do. If some industrial person is listening this, there is lot to be done in bioprinting, and orthopedics, and already there is a big market if we say about the orthodontics. So forecast is that research today is printing new skins, printing cartilage and bones, printing replacement tissues, printing replacement organs is going on. And in next coming 5 to 8 years, specific organ tissue replacement will be done. Personalized replacement for 3D printing joints with custom fits can be done. Life-saving 3D printing organ replacement can be done. And further, after 10 to 15 years, replacement of 3D printed organ at affordable price will be there. Liver or kidney replacement components reaches maturity, and 3D printed replacement for all body organs will be available. So, future in India, according to the research conducted by 6 different searchers, India's 3D printing market is projected to grow at around 20% during coming years. And India 3D printing market, in terms of medical field, I'm saying, is projected to cross more than 100 million. And Indian printing platform Think 3D has announced its established 6 million 3D printing facility in Andhra Pradesh. And about this 6 million facility expected to enable India's medical devices market to become more independent, reducing total of foreign import from 75 to 10%. In conclusion, I will say that 3D printing is revolutionized healthcare. It promises a future of personalized and effective medical treatment. 3D printing has become a useful and potentially transformative tool in a number of different fields, including medicines. As a print performance, resolutions and available materials have increased, so have the applications. Researchers continue to improve existing medical applications that use 3D printing technology and to explore new ones. And medical advances that have been made using 3D printings are already significant and existing, but some of these more revolutionary applications, such as organ printing, will need to be developed soon. So with this, my PPT or my this talk is finished. If anyone has any query or question, can ask.
So thank you very much, Dr. Sunil Kumar, for describing so much about the research going on in the 3D printing technology. You have very well, described the 3D bioprinting basics like stereolithography, CAD softwares to be used for generating the views to be printed, and the current progress like ear, kidney, blood vessels, skin grafting is going on right now in the 3D printing technology, surgical models, look-alike of body, prosthetic fingers, skulls, aesthetic surgeries, evolution of 3D, and you have uh, again very well emphasized on dental applications, crowns, bridges, dental models, bioprinting, materials used in 3D printing, and medical opportunities and challenges that the 3D printing industry in medical emerging technology is facing today. You have very well described. So thank you very much, Sunil sir, for
Thank you.
having such a wonderful lecture. Now, I invite our participants. If you have any queries or questions, you can ask. Sir is with us right now. So, dear participants, if you have any queries, sir is with us for a few more minutes. Otherwise, we will thank sir again, and he can leave the meeting. And sir is right now with us. If you want to know anything, because sir is right now guiding one research scholar in 3D printing also. So if you have any queries regarding 3D printing, you can talk to sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, Sir, in one slide you showed that in 3D printing that polymer samples are used. What about ceramic samples? So, is that used in 3D printing?
Yes, ma'am. They are being used in 3D printing. If I say in terms of medical terms, knee replacement, in case of knee replacements, the ceramics are used. Uh, um, Apart from medical purpose, that the ceramics are also being used for 3D printing and 3D printing to create different objects.
Okay, thank you, sir.
For to create particular 3D printer of 3D material of 3D printing, we need separate 3D printers. For example, for metal or for ceramic or polymer, the 3D printer requires are different. Technology may be same, but the printers, their specifications are different. To melt a metal or to have a recrystallization temperature of metal is much higher as compared to polymer. Similarly, for ceramics and other materials. Even the 3D printing is very much being used in our food industries to create aesthetic looks of our eating products.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, dear participants, if anybody else is having any question or query, you can ask, sir. So thank you very much, sir, again and again, and for accepting our invitation and joining us today for describing this 3D printing with our participants. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Vipul sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Sunil sir, for a
Thank
wonderful
you,
lecture on 3D printing.
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
So dear participants, if any one of you wants to give some feedback on our course, like our experts from different fields who have given various lectures. So if anyone if Madam Huba Begum is there right now, Madam, if you want to give some feedback, like many other names I can see, Mr. Anand is super, and
And I will give you the feedback, right?
at the okay, Madam, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. And all lectures are very nice. I really enjoyed all the lectures. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
Uh, Prabkin ma'am, I think we can have a break.
Yes, sir. So, dear
For,
participants, today we have three lectures. So, we have plenty of time, like 20 to 25 minutes. You can have a break. So, we will join at 5 o'clock, right? So, our next expert will join us at 5 o'clock. So, he'll be joining at 5 o'clock. So, by that time, you can have a break, right? Thank you very much.
extracted from non-cancerous as well as non-cancerous and cancerous regions, the then only we used to feed those optimal features to the classifier for labeling the region as a benign or malignant region. But in case of deep learning, this feature extraction stage was eliminated. Now, after 2010, people used to started in the research community. They started implementing convolutional neural networks or deep learning algorithms. Now, if you see the performance of these networks, machine learning as well as the the deep learning algorithm, the performance goes on increasing with the amount of data which is available to us for training. So obviously, the amount of data which is available to us for training a classifier was a huge factor to decide on whether we should implement machine learning algorithm or a deep learning algorithm. Now this is the important stages was feature engineering. Now we should contact the doctor and look at his expertise and find out whether what features the doctor is looking at, and then you should be able to use those features as mathematical descriptors from the image and take down those features in the Excel sheet, and then probably train the classifier. Now, this is a typical example of traditional machine learning approach versus deep learning approach. Now, this is in case, a classification problem where the problem is to identify whether the image is of a four-wheeler, that is a car image or truck image or bicycle image. From every image, in case of machine learning algorithm, we need to find out different features, like whether it has got how many wheels, what is the radius of the wheel, what is the circularity, what is the convexity. So all these shape-based and texture-based features, this is manual feature extraction, we say. The feature extraction is very important part of machine learning. So once these features are extracted, we can we can divide that particular data into training data and testing data, and then we can classify using any machine learning based approach like k nearest neighbor classifier, probabilistic neural classifier, support vector machine, etc. Now, in case of you see the pipeline of a deep learning algorithm. So here, in case of a deep learning algorithm, the data in itself is the images. Images are data, and there is an end-to-end feature in feature learning and classification is embedded in a convolutional neural network. So if you all have studied image processing as a subject, you might have studied a image convolution operation. Now, in case of when we convolve the image with a particular filter, we can get the filtered image which contains the features of that particular image. Let us suppose we pass the image with a high pass filter. So all the high frequency content of the image will be passed, and the low frequency component will be blurred. So as a result, the output image will be having all high frequency components in it. So in now that particular image signal can be given to another convolutional layer. So deep learning is nothing but convolution followed by pooling, then further convolution followed by pooling, further convolution followed by pooling, and in the end there is a fully connected layer and a softmax function. So in this case, we need not extract features. The convolutional layer of the deep neural network will by itself extract features from the image, will learn from the image itself. Now in this case, the number of pixels of the image, let us the size of the image, let us suppose is 512 cross 512. So the number of image pixels in the input layer of the convolutional network will be 512 cross 512. So those many, each image pixel will be given as an input to the neuron of the first layer of the convolutional neural network. Now, machine learning systems, they are always trained with representative data. The input information is received, and the computer algorithms know they just analyze to find out what is the regularity in the data, and they, based upon the dependencies and the regularities in the input data, they predict their output. So the relationships between the data are known as features. And in case of standard machine learning algorithms, if we classify features for a particular medical image, these features can be of three types. One are color-based features, you have colored Doppler, etc. And the others are shape-based features, and the third one are texture-based features. So we evaluate depending upon the problem at hand. Let's suppose we are developing a classification problem for diagnosis of liver lesions. Then we are only bothered about textural characteristics of the tumor region. We are not bothered about the shape characteristics. So we will evaluate only the texture of the tumor region, the features representing the texture. Now, texture is a word which is not having any definition. Texture is characterized by the properties of the surface. Now, texture can be smooth, it can be rough, it can be homogeneous, it can be heterogeneous, it can be isoechoic, it can be anechoic, it can be hyperechoic, and so on and so forth. So in order to find out the echogenicity, the circularity, if we are finding out the shape features, there are features like area, the circularity, convexity, etc., etc. So in case of breast tumors, when the doctors see whether the breast tumor under visualization is benign or malignant, the doctor not only looks at the texture features, but the doctor also looks at the shape-based features. So it depends upon the problem at hand, whether we have to calculate the textural features only, the shape-based features only, or the color-based features also. Now, this, if you see with the up to say around 2010, the machine learning algorithms were used. The data was less, but we used to do very good feature engineering. And then the optimal features were extracted from the images, and we used to feed them to the classifier for the classification task. Now, from 2010 onwards, till date, deep learning have been very prevalent because there is no breadth of data these days, and we put the images directly to the convolutional neural network, and it is the CNN which learns by its own. The convolutional neural network learns by its own. The features they extract from the even the layers, the convolutional layers of the deep neural network, they act as feature extraction, and they automatically label the input image as benign or malignant. Now, if you see the characterization approach, now this in medical imaging domain, the studies carried out using conventional machine learning algorithms, and on the right hand side you can see the studies carried out using deep learning algorithms. Now, in the first case, in case of machine learning algorithms, first thing is the researcher will have to analyze whether the raw images which are collected by him or her from the hospital, they are good enough for the segmentation task, or they are good enough for the classification task at hand, or they must need pre-processing. So there are in image processing, there are certain image pre-processing techniques which may be characterized like by image enhancement techniques, or image restoration, or image denoising. So when we acquire an ultrasound image from an ultrasound imaging scanner, a noise called speckle noise, which is inherent in the acquiring process, and what I mean to say is that in ultrasound image, every pixel of the ultrasound image has some speckle noise information and some signal information. Now, this particular noise is the multiplicative noise. Like if you acquire MRI for a particular tissue, then by the process of acquiring MRI images such that the Rician image will always be embedded in the MRI image. So in certain cases, it is important. It becomes important to denoise the image before feeding it to the segmentation or classification algorithm. Now, for machine learning, there are different pre-processing techniques which can be used. Similarly, The pre-processed images can be inputted to an ML-based segmentation module or to a deep learning based segmentation module. So this segmentation task can be handled in a machine learning approach, also by deep learning approach. And similarly, the classification task, once the segmentation has been done, let us suppose the tumor has been extracted and it has been separated from the background region, then the tumor image can be further inputted for ML based classification or DL based classification. But the only difference between these two pipelines, if we say the machine learning based approach and the this deep learning based approach, the only difference is the decision making or whether we have a large data set or not. Because deep learning algorithms, they are data hungry algorithms. They don't learn from the features which we extract from the images. They learn from the features they themselves extract from the images. So they are data hungry algorithms. So the decision to implement a deep learning segmentation module or deep learning classification module depends upon how huge data we are having. Now this problem is further, subsidized by using data augmentation. So this is a very important step in implementing all DL-based algorithms. Now, if you see data augmentation, like augmenting data, what is meant by augmenting data? Augmenting data means we have one image and we will be able to generate 180 images out of this one image only. So that if I have two images, I will be having 360 images. If I have uh, five images, I will be able to create artificially out of these five images 180 images for each image. So 5 into 180 images I will be able to generate. So if let us imagine if we have some data augmentation technique like this, and then we have real-time imaging data, and then we first augment that particular data. So huge amount of data is available with us. And now because this huge amount of data is available with us, we can apply deep learning based approach. Now, briefly, I would like to highlight the data augmentation techniques. They are of generally, broadly speaking, of two types. One are known as generic white box based techniques, and the other are known as black box based techniques. Now, when this data augmentation can be done? In the deep learning based pipeline, there are two ways to implement data augmentation. One is the online data augmentation, and the other is offline data augmentation. So I'll be discussing about when to implement online augmentation, when to implement offline augmentation. And briefly, if I describe the white box techniques or the generic techniques for data augmentation, they are further classified as geometric transformations, photometric transformations, and other transformations. The geometric transformation means, changing the scale of the image, like zooming in, zooming out is changing the scale of the image. Then flipping the image upside down. Rotation of the image by 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 180 degree. Then shearing. Shearing means the base of the image remains as such, but there is a tilt on the upper side of the image. Now translation of the image, cropping, random cropping or projection transform. These all are geometric operations. Now it is very important for us, to understand, like let us suppose you are working on a deep learning based classifier and you are working on breast images. Okay. Now I told you earlier on that in case of breast tumors, the doctor is not only interested in textural features of the tumor region, but also interested in the shape based parameters or the margin based characteristics, whether the margin of the breast tumor is ill defined, or whether it has star-like appearance, or whether it is more circumscribed in nature. So it is the shape-based features which are important for the doctor to differentially diagnose the breast tumor as benign or malignant. So in that case, if you want to implement a deep learning based convolutional neural network and you are working on a tumor uh, labeling problem or classification problem. In that particular case, I will advise you to choose the data augmentation method very carefully. Like sharing should not be used for on breast tumor images, because sharing, if you use sharing on breast tumor images, what will happen? It will distort the shape of the tumor region. If you do zooming, either you zoom in or you zoom out, the shape is not going to be distorted. If you flip the particular image upside down, again the shape is not going to be distorted. If you rotate the image by 1 degree or 2 degree, 3 degree, then also the shape of the tumor region is not going to be distorted. But in case if you apply shear to the image, the margin characteristics of the tumor will change. So it is, the idea is, in case of medical image processing, the idea is to implement that particular data augmentation algorithm which does not distort the diagnostic information which is contained in that particular image. So the idea is, if there is a, you know, problem you are handling in which the shape-based features are important, then don't use sharing as data augmentation method, but scaling, flipping, and a combination of these, of course. Like you can rotate by 1 degree and then flip, rotate by 30 degree and then flip the rotated image. So in that particular case, we can see that from one input image, we can generate many particular images. And the other advantage of this data augmentation is that if you train the particular convolutional neural network by the augmented data, in that particular case, the classifier will be robust. It will be rotational invariant. It will be, let us suppose, if the image is being captured and the patient moves a little bit, then there will be some translation in the image. And if that particular translated image also is feeded as a test image to a already trained convolutional neural network, most likely it is going to give the correct label for the test image, because it has been trained by scaled version of the images, flipped version of the images, rotated version of the images, and so on and so forth. So your classifier not only becomes robust, it becomes more generalized, and these are some inherent advantages of augmenting data. Uh, the other data augmentation methods in the white box techniques include photometric transformations like gamma corrections, edge enhancement. Like I was talking about pre-processing, image pre-processing, contrast enhancement. So the contrast enhanced version of the image can be taken as another input image for increasing the training data. See, when you have a data set with you, you have to divide it between two parts. One is the training data and the other is the testing data. Now, it is the training data which needs augmentation. Let me tell you very clearly, the test, you have to first make your data sets into two partitions in a disjoint manner. Let us suppose you have 200 images, like 100 images of benign nature class and 100 images for malignant class, and you have a binary classification task at hand. You have some images which contain binary tumor images, and the other set of images contains the malignant tumor. Now, out of these 100 images, I will advise you to separate 50 images from benign as testing data set and 50 images from malignant data set for testing data set. So you have now two data sets. One is training data set containing 50 benign, 50 malignant, and the other is malignant data set, the testing data set, which contains again 50 benign and 50 malignant. Now, this data augmentation which I'm talking of, whether it is geometric transformation, photometric transformation, or other transformations, whether it is a white box techniques or it is a black box technique of generating particular image from one particular image, draw image, several images. Now, these techniques must be applied only on the training data set, because there is a need to enhance the size of the training data set, because we want the classifier, whether it is a deep learning classifier or a machine learning classifier, it should be trained with huge amount of variations of the input images for training data set. So once it is trained for the training data set, it is expected that for the testing data set, it is going to give the correct label and we are going to get a good accuracy. So the training data set must be augmented, 5,000 times. One image, so many versions you can create. So there is a motivation of augmenting training data, but there is no motivation for augmenting testing data. Now, I was talking about this data augmentation. There are certain techniques which are known as black box techniques. The black box techniques include neural style transfer and generative adversarial networks. Again, you can see that these generative adversarial networks called GANs, these networks are very popular these days to generate synthetic images. These are of various types, cyclic, infilling, and Laplacian type of generative adversarial networks. Now, these are few examples, This is a typical example of a breast ultrasound image. Now, this is, you can say, the shearing version. The image has been sheared. The images have been flipped now. This is upside down flipping of the image. And this is random crops. We are obtaining the random crops regions from this particular uh, this. And then this is scaling, zooming it down and zooming it back forward. Now this is a translated version of the image. Now this is a rotated version of image. You can see apart from sharing, it is only this sharing which is basically, changing the shape of the tumor region. But if you see flipping, if you see translation, if you see scaling, the shape of the image region is not distorted. So these are the other examples, this photometric transformations. You have an original image, you apply a fancy PCA on it, you get the output image. Original image, then image after histogram equalization. Original image, the sharpened image. Sharpened image means the high pass filtered image. And if you pass it through a low pass filter, you will get a blurred image. Now this is a colored image, modifying the blue channel, modifying the R channel, the RGB channel you can modify. And this is gamma corrected image, original image with gamma 0.5, gamma 1.5. So all these images can be created by using photometric transformations. Now these were some other transformations for data augmentation with this, placing two image blocks sidewise and placing two image blocks sidewise such that they overlap, and then placing two image blocks sidewise with the minimum boundary cut method. So these are all methods of, image quilting. So once we have a region of interest, we can quilt various regions of interest together to generate more number of images. Now you can see this is an example of image stitching, and you can see this aeroplane image, and there are some, some portion of the image has been cropped. So this is known as random erasing. So remember a network, which can classify it as an aerial image, even in the presence of erasing, random erasing, the network is going to be more robust. Even with, image with distortion, it is going to label it as an aerial image. Then this is an image of a fox, with random erasing and corrupted, some certain portion which is corrupted by noise. And then again, this is a ultrasound best image with some Gaussian noise with 0.01% variance, with 1% variance and all. So all these methods we can generate, these were all white box techniques. Now, I'll give you just one example of a deep learning based convolutional network, generative example, like a example of a generative adversarial network. Now, these GANs are, very important when you book hotel from any particular site, hotel site, booking site. You see that they will show you the sample images of the room in which you are going to book. That room is going to have some window. It is going to have one, bed. and the bed sheet and the pillows. So you can see that those particular images are, changing very fast. So those images are synthetic images. No, those images are not really real images. These are the images which are generated by GANs, generative adversarial networks. Now, it means we should have one image, and then possibly we should be able to create a synthetic image which looks like a real image. So in generative adversarial networks, there are two type of networks. One is on the input side, which is known as a generator network, GZ written on the screen. And on the right hand side, there is a discriminator network, DX written on the right hand side of the screen. Now what is the purpose of this generative network and what is the purpose of this discriminator network? So this is example of a GAN, operating on the back end of the website, generating images for us. Now, this generative network is trained in a manner that we feed it with a noisy image, and it is going to generate an example for us. So this generative network is going to be trained with two images. One is the real image and the other is the noise image. And the purpose of this generator network is to create from the noise image a synthetic image which is looking like a real image. So it will create a generated example for us. So it is going to create a synthetic image, a fake image which looks like real. Now this particular output of the generator network, which is a fake image looking like a real image, is going to be fed to a discriminator network. Now this discriminator network is another convolutional neural network which has been trained with all the real and fake images, and it has been trained to predict whether this input image is a real image or a fake image. Now the idea is to iterate through so many times that a noisy image which is inputted at the generator side generates a fake image which looks real and which, when fed as testing data to the discriminator network, it should be predicted as real. The fake image generated by the generator, if it is predicted as real by the discriminator, is included in our data set. It means it is treated as one of the augmented image, and we can use it for augmenting data. So this is how the generator and discriminator works. If our generated image is able to fool the discriminator network, we include it in the data set. Now the other type of black box techniques for data augmentation was neural style transfer. One is the content image, the other is the style image. We embed the content in the style image and we get the generated example. Now this example has been taken from GitHub repository. Now this is an image of a skin, melanoma, the lesion in the skin, and there is one style image, and this style image is going to be embedded in the content image to generate a synthetic image, which otherwise it is very difficult to get so many images of skin cancer to train a classifier. So we generate synthetic images. This is also one of the black box technique for generating imaging data. Now this is I've briefly talked about the what is the need of augmenting data, because deep learning networks are data hungry algorithms. They need huge amount of data, and collection of real-time data from hospitals is very pathetic. It will take too much amount of time to collect a database of 10,000s of benign images and 10,000s of malignant images, and then possibly train a convolutional neural network. So the there are obvious advantages associated with augmenting data. So what are these advantages? This helps in generation of more amount of data from the existing data. It helps to alleviate the data set imbalance problem. This is very important, Let us suppose, we have 80 benign and 200 malignant. Now, from 80 benign and 200 malignant, you see this is how much imbalance. We have only 80 images of one type of data and 200 images of other type of data. Now, how to solve this? This data augmentation can help. Because from this 80 benign, I will take 40 for testing, and from this 200 benign malignant also I will take 40 for testing. So I'll be left with 160 malignant and 40 benign. Now I have to this is my training data, which is again imbalanced. Now it is not a very good idea to train the classifier with an imbalanced training data set. So I'll balance it. How will I balance it? By using a data augmentation, So for let us suppose the images in the data set are 160 for one class and 40 for another class. So I will augment. So I'll say rotate the images, the lesser number of images with more number of angles. Let us take 40 images. If I have for one type of class, I'll take possibly, 50 angles, 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 2.5 degree, 3.5 degree, and rotate them. And for malignant, I will say instead of 100 angles, I'll take 50 angles only. So I'll get rotated images to be clumped with the original images, but more number of augmentations will be applied to the class in which there are lesser number of images. So training dataset imbalance problem also is minimized or removed by using data augmentation. And then our trained network, the problem of overfitting is minimized by using data augmentation. So this data augmentation is very beautiful thing. It provides implicit regularization. Implicit regularization means my network doesn't overfit, to a particular type of data, because I'm trained with data not only with the original images, but with the rotated versions of images as well, the flipped versions of images, the rotated and then flipped versions of the images as well. So our network becomes more robust, and it is expected, if it is trained with such wide variety of each image class in the training itself, it is expected, for testing data also, it is going to give me good results. Now, so it obviously, data augmentation makes my network more robust to the input variability. Now, what are the pressing questions, they related to data augmentation? Why is augmentation required for training only? I told you that first you have to divide your dataset into training dataset and testing dataset. And there is real motivation of training or augmenting training data only. There is no motivation for augmenting testing data, because it is our duty to train the classifier, whether it is a machine learning classifier or a deep learning classifier. It is our duty to train the network, the classifier, with all possible combinations of each class. Let us suppose it is a 5-class classification problem. You are having one normal image class, two benign classes, and two malignant classes. Let us suppose normal, primary benign, secondary benign, primary malignant, secondary malignant. It is a 5-class classification problem. Now it is your duty to create a balanced training data set and to train the classifier with all possible variations of the images of these 5 classes. If your training is good, then only the network is going to perform good. Then when to augment data? This is a very important question. Now I told you that data augmentation can be applied either online or offline. First, you have the data stored, you collected with the hospital, and you have it in your hard disk. You apply data augmentation. You divide that particular data into training data and testing data. Then you apply data augmentation on training data such that your training data is balanced, as well as more number of images are created for each class. And then you train the network with the with the augmented training data set. Now, offline means आपने augment करके रख दिया हार्ड डिस्क पे, उसके बाद आप वहां से इमेजेस भेज रहे हो. ऑनलाइन मीन्स कि आप पाइपलाइन में ऑगमेंट कर रहे हो. आपने रॉ इमेजेस ली, आपने ऑगमेंट किया, फिर आपने कन्वोल्यूशन नेटवर्क को फीड कर दिया. Advantages of data augmentation as a regularizer in comparison to traditional methods. There are obvious advantages associated with data augmentation because augmenting data will enable us to train the classifier with all possible variations of the input variability. Well, data augmentation that is done at the time of training with an aim to reduce overfitting and to make the model more robust to input variability. At the time of testing, there is no such motivation is required as the optimal model parameters have already been achieved. So there is no motivation of augmenting testing data set. Sometimes, augmenting, if you do, you will find in certain research papers, they will suggest you to augment testing data set also in order to just you check whether the variability in the testing data is also given for the correct class or not. But it is not a very good idea because, in some character recognition problems, like, uh, you- 6, if you rotate it by 180-degree, it may be read as 9. So sometimes rotation may be a problem for the prediction task at hand. So that is why I told you that these data augmentation algorithms must be chosen very carefully depending upon the task at hand. Like if you are working on a medical imaging problem, which in which the doctor is looking at not only at the textural features, but the doctor is also looking at the shape-based features, then I will advise you not to use shearing as one of the augmentation methods because it may distort the appearance of the tumor. Then I already told you this offline and online difference between how to implement augmentation, whether it should be done beforehand in an offline manner or it should be done online in online manner. While offline data augmentation is preferred for smaller data sets, the online data augmentation is preferred for larger data sets. Now, this is very important, where, there are different type of images. Natural images are also there. And like I told you that check images in which you are trying to recognize the check number. In that case, you cannot apply rotation by 180 because 6 will be taken as 9. And in case of medical images, where the doctor is looking at the shape of the tumor, you will not be able to use shearing as the image because it may distort the shape of the tumor. So likewise, you must follow a top-down approach depending upon the image at hand and the problem at hand. So this is an example of a histopathological image of a blood sample. Now, this is the zoomed version, the 40x.
हेलो
Hello.
अरे तुम मम्मी को देना फोन
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Dear participant, kindly switch off your mics because right now the expert is delivering the lecture. Please listen to him.
How many participants are there in the audience, ma'am?
Right now, sir, there are 118 participants, 118. Otherwise, normally there are around 180 or 188.
Okay. So possibly, I am able to connect with all of them, and it's very difficult to, get the feedback in an online manner.
No,
So
sir, your lecture is going very fine, sir.
okay. So fine. So I was talking about these histopathological images. Now, these images have been augmented somehow. So the 40x version, zoomed version, 100x, 200x, 400x zoomed version is taken as an augmented image data set. Now, this is an input image, for an colored camera, the image of the, eyeball. Now, this is a high pass filter version. This is centered and cropped version, and then, augmented by using rotation. Now, because these deep learning algorithms, for understanding all these deep learning algorithms, we must know what is convolution, what is downsampling, what is upsampling. Now, if you consider this example, I told you that convolutional network, in which in the convolution deep convolutional network, there is a convolution layer followed by pooling layer, then convolution layer, then followed by pooling layer. Now, in each convolution layer, there is a filter mask. Now, what kind of output image map we'll get depends upon the coefficients of the filter with which we are convolving the input image. Now, you can consider this, as an explanation for, image convolution. Like, let us consider that as a 3 by 3, A naught, A1, A2, A3, A4. This is the image pixels. And, this X1, X0, X2 are the filter coefficients. Now we are going to, apply this filter on this particular image part, and we get the convolved image. And the features the convolved image may be a high pass version of the original image. It may be a low pass version of the original image. Depends upon the filter coefficients. So in each convolution layer, we have different type of filters, which are giving us some features of the image at each layer of the convolution layer network. Now this convolution layer, the feature maps which we obtain after each convolution in the convolution layer, they are, subjected to pooling. Now, in order to explain this pooling operation, I've taken an example of this image box like A0, A1, A2, A3, and B0, B1, B2, B3. Now, if you take this from the first quadrant of the image, the maximum value is, let us suppose, A0, and from the second quadrant, the maximum value is B1. From the below quadrant, the maximum value is C1, and from the fourth quadrant, the maximum value is D3. Now, if you take all the maximum values and keep it like this is known as max pooling operation. Whereas, if you take the average of A0, A1, A2, A3, and then keep it as A cap, and B0, B1, B2, B3, and keep it as B cap, this is known as average pooling. Now, in a general, convolutional network, you must understand what is convolution and what is pooling, because it is nothing but a hybrid, a stacked network of convolution layer followed by pooling layer, then another convolution layer followed by pooling layer, and then so on and so forth. Now, if you see that classification problems in deep learning, they are of two types. One is generative and the other is discriminative. And the discriminative part is widely implemented. The most common of them is convolutional neural network. And this convolutional neural network can be implemented by three type of methods. One is end-to-end architecture, the other is hybrid architecture, and the third is fusion-based architecture. Now, what is transfer learning? You have already a deep learning convolution CNN, which is already trained on 1,000 images. And it is giving some, accuracy for each type of images. Like we say that this class of transfer learning is very popular, right? From AlexNet, GoogleNet, the ResNet, so on and so forth. There are already trained models, and then what you do is you just, or you take a trained model which has been uh, giving good accuracy on, let us suppose, 100,000 type of images. And then you take your classification problem, you augment your training data set, and then you subject that particular training data on this particular already trained network. And then you just fine tune, you just change the input layer neurons depending upon the if it is an AlexNet network, and let us suppose the input size requirement is 227 cross 227. The only thing you have to do is that for your problem, you have to crop the images of your data set so that the input size matches to this particular network, and then you are able to feed your network to this particular already trained network, and then you just do the fine tuning task, and then you are able to get some accuracy out of it. So this process is known as transfer learning. There are already models in the deep learning toolbox of MATLAB already trained, AlexNet, GoogleNet, whatever new version will come in the new paper, the next version of MATLAB will have it. and then you need to just augment your particular data set and then feed it to this particular stage. Now this is one example, this is one particular image, and this is the ROI, and this ROI is fed to the convolution layer and followed by the pooling layer, then another convolution layer followed by the pooling layer, another convolution layer followed by the pooling layer. Each convolution layer, the filter parameters are different. So each particular output image map is different. And then there is a fully connected layer, and the fully connected layer, the output is given to the softmax function for final classification. Now, this is a hybrid type of a network wherein this is a skin particular melanoma lesion image, and the ROI is being cropped, and ROI is being cropped and given to the convolution layer, followed by pooling layer, further convolution pooling, and then the fully connected function. Now, this fully connected layer, these are used as features and given to an SVM classifier. Instead of giving it to the softmax, we have introduced the support vector machine, which is a standard machine learning classifier at the end stage. So this is known as a hybrid type of a classification where we are using convolutional neural network as a feature extractor, and whatever features we are getting from the CNN, we are feeding it to a conventional machine learning classifier. So this kind of implementation of CNN is known as hybrid network. Now this is fusion based network classification. Now this is a basic CNN architecture. I told you convolution followed by pooling, convolution followed by pooling, and then in the end the fully connected layer, and then the softmax function. Now convolution, pooling, activation, stride. These are the concepts which you must have in your mind for implementing deep neural network. Let us suppose this is a grayscale image, and then we subject this to just a minute. This is the output convolved image, and we are moving the filter over the original image, and by the steps by which we move the filter on over the convolution is known as stride. So this is the output size of the output feature map W dot. W is the size of the input feature map. P is the padding. F is the filter order, and S is the stride. So this is the formula. So the output feature map, let's suppose the input image window size is 6 and the filter size is 3 by 3. So F is 3, padding is 0, and stride is 1. So the output feature map will be having 4 by 4 pixels. So these 4 by 4 pixels are shown at the end of each stage. How the filter is moving over the image, how by its stride 1, how the convolution is happening, and how the output window is coming at each stage. So this feature map, will contain the initial convolution layers will have, abstract features, and the features will become more abstract as we go down on each convolution layer. This I told you all give you example of, max pooling, and this is the average pooling. So 15, 9, 11, 5, if you take add them up and divide by 4, it will be 10. So this is the average pooling. Now this is taking maximum from all the 4 quadrants, is the max pooling. So these are the examples of where WI is 7, the filter size is 3, and padding is 0 in first case, and stride is 1, the window size is coming out to be 5, and so on and so forth. Now at the end of the this fully connected layer, we have to apply activation, which can be a ReLU function or a sigmoid function, which will give us the output image class. So the fully connected layer is the feature vector. So either we can give it to the softmax function for end-to-end CNN based classification, or the output of the fully connected layer can be fed to a conventional machine learning classifier like SVM, KNN, PNN, etc. In that case, it will become a hybrid CNN. Now, Now, this is very important, how we can say that, well, we implement transfer learning most of the times. We do not start building our deep learning from scratch, DNA network from scratch. So, first thing is that we must know what is image batch. So, let us suppose we have 10,000 images in the training data. So, first we must divide them into, 100 batch of 100 images. So, we will first send 100 images from the training data, from the first convolution layer to the end, and then the second 100 images, then third 100 images, then fourth 100 images. We'll be training our network with training data in batches. So once complete, let us suppose there are 10,000 images in the training data, and all the 10,000 images were divided into 100 batches. Each batch had 100 images. So if you pass 100 batches of 100 images each, it means 10,000 images of the training data through your network, forward and backward. This is known as one epoch. And you have to train your network with sometimes 500 epochs, 600 epochs, and then you have to slightly vary the learning rate as well. So these are the things which you must keep in mind. How to keep batch size so that all the images in the training data are included in when we pass the images or in batches to the network. And once the complete batch is passed, once it is known as one epoch, and you have to keep on passing the same images again and again in different epochs with different learning rate to find out the minima. And then there are regularization techniques. One is to avoid overfitting. I told you that data augmentation offers implicit regularization, but explicitly also you can if the network is giving good accuracy during training and still you are not able to get the good testing accuracy, then even if the implicit regularization is not working, you can try using explicit regularization, which involves dropout and weight decay, changing that weight decay and dropout methods, dropout and drop connect. Now then the other thing is cross validation. Like in training data also, if there are 10,000 images, then the before keeping testing data as separate, you can divide your training data into 10 parts. That is known as tenfold cross validation. Means each time you will be training with 10% and testing with remaining 90%, but this 10% will change across each 10 times, and then the average of this 10 folds will be taken as the training accuracy. This is a very famous example of in 2012 this network came out ALEXNet. Now it was having some a million parameters, required GPUs to be implemented. So this is the architecture of each convolution layer. The input image size should be 227 cross 227. If you want to implement ALEXNet, which is already trained on 1000 images, and you want to do transfer learning on this network, then the first thing is you must resize the images into 227 cross 227 cross 3. This is the RGB image. And then these particular images will be fed to convolution max pooling, and then you will get the fully connected layer, and it has to be passed through a softmax function to get accuracy. Now this is the result of low level features. Initial convolution layers will give you low level features, but as you pass these particular features with further convolution layers, you will get middle level features and then high level features. So each stage, the feature map is giving us different type of features. Now this is the car image. So this is the output of the first convolution layer, followed by railway activation and max pooling, and then fill convolution layer followed by railway activation and then max pooling. So you get different type of features, and at last the softmax function is going to characterize it as a car, truck, aeroplane, ship, etc. The very most important thing is when you resize the image. See, you must be able to try with your dataset AlexNet also, GoogleNet also, ResNet also, ExceptionNet also. So all these networks already trained, they require different input image sizes. So you must resize particular images of your training dataset according to the requirement of the network. So while resizing, it is very important for you. I must tell you that you must keep the aspect ratio in mind. मतलब जब हम इमेज को जैसे हम किसी पीपीटी में डालते हैं तो हम उसको वर्टिकली और हॉरिजॉन्टली ड्रैग नहीं करते हैं ताकि उसकी एस्पेक्ट रेशो खराब ना हो। हम उसको डायगोनली ड्रैग करते हैं ताकि एक्स और वाई की रेशो मेंटेन सेम रहे और लीजन की शेप चेंज ना हो। अगर आप हॉरिजॉन्टली ड्रैग कर देंगे तब भी चेंज हो जाएगी, वर्टिकली ड्रैग कर देंगे तब भी चेंज हो जाएगी। तो अगर आप इमेज को रीसाइज करते हैं, एलेक्सनेट बोलता है भाई 227 क्रॉस 277 की इमेज लाओ, रेसनेट बोलते हैं मेरे को 251 क्रॉस 251 चाहिए। अब आपके पास ओरिजिनल इमेज किसी साइज की है तो आपको उसको इमेज जब आप उसको 237 क्रॉस 227 की बना रहे हो तो आपको उसकी इमेज की एस्पेक्ट रेशो का ख्याल रखना है ताकि उसके अंदर जो ट्यूमर है उसकी शेप ना डिस्टॉर्ट हो। तो उसके लिए एक मेथड मैंने सिखाया है यहाँ पे, कन्वेंशनल मेथड है कि जैसे 452 क्रॉस 751 कर लो, जो एस्पेक्ट रेशो है वही एस्पेक्ट रेशो में लेके पहले इमेज को क्रॉप करो और फिर उसको रैंडम ब्लेंड कर दो जितना चाहिए उतना, ताकि आपकी लीजन की शेप भी डिस्टॉर्ट ना हो। तो एस्पेक्ट रेशो का हमें ख्याल रखना है जब भी हम इमेज का रिसाइज करेंगे। बाकी आपको पता है डीप लर्निंग नेटवर्क के लिए हायर एंड जीपीयूज चाहिए, मेमोरीज चाहिए। एनवीडिया, एएमडी, इंटेल, गूगल, अमेजोन ये डिफरेंट टाइप के जीपीयूज बना रहे हैं आजकल, क्योंकि ये डेटा हंग्री एल्गोरिथम्स है तो इनके लिए काफी मेमोरी डिपेंडेंट है ये। तो ये सब लिमिटेशंस भी है डीप लर्निंग की। ठीक है, इतना मेरे को भी बताना था। हेलो।
Hello, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for
Actually,
such a.
in this particular time slot, I could just, give a brief idea of how convolutional neural network is implemented, what are the terms, what should be, while for augmenting data, what should be taken care of. Otherwise, I was having one example of machine learning, which I did for my PhD, but I don't think that we have sufficient time for that right now. So I would like to conclude here. And if there are any questions, I would like to connect with the audience.
Yes, dear participants, if you have any questions or queries with the Dr. Jitendra Virmani, you can ask. Otherwise, thank you very much, sir, for such an insightful lecture on deep learning and the differences in deep learning and machine learning and the data augmentation advantages and why augmentation is for drawing data and CNN and neural network software requirement and all these things. I think it will be very helpful for the researchers and the academicians to learn from your this presentation, and a very thank you again, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for giving me the
Uh,
opportunity.
sir, can you please share your PPTs with us if you have no problem?
Yeah, I'll share with Dr. Vipul and he can pass it on further.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Yes, anybody else who want to converse with sir with
Most of
any
these participants, they are from this.
different background, sir?
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir. Sir,
And
they
they are
are
from far off places. Yeah.
yes, sir, from all parts of the India.
Okay, okay.
Sir,
Any
good evening, sir.
yeah, good evening, good evening.
Can you please suggest some research areas? Because I'm a PhD scholar recently registered in National Institute of Technology. So I have
Which
completed
area?
my coursework and I'm just want to go with the machine learning and deep learning techniques with the medical image processing.
Okay.
So what all you have told right up to now have completed in my coursework, and now I'm struggling which particular data augmentation or something which I need to go in that way. I was really tensed about that, sir. Can you please help me?
See, when I did my PhD, I did my
Yeah.
PhD in 2014. I did my PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, and I was at that time I implemented machine learning algorithms for developing computer-aided diagnostic systems for liver ultrasound images. So that time, the liver diseases, they are basically of two types. One are focal liver disease, and the other are diffuse diseases. So I worked on focal liver diseases. So the idea was to, to enhance the diagnostic potential of conventionally available ultrasound imaging modality for differential diagnosis between focal liver lesions by using. So I used to collect data from Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research, PGI, Chandigarh. So for that, initially 1 year I got the MOU signed between PGI and IIT Roorkee, and then there was ethical clearance for my project. And then I realized that, my 1.5 years, initial years were wasted collecting data. And that time, deep learning was not very prevalent in the research community. So what I did was, till the time I had my data at hand, I learned implementing machine learning algorithms like uh, k-nearest neighbor classifier, probabilistic neural network, artificial neural network, support vector machine. I started learning about feature selection algorithms. What is the difference between feature wrapper, feature filter, PCA, how to reduce dimensionality by using principal component analysis. So I thought, and I used to implement it not on liver images, but all the Lina images, because Lina image is a popular image in image processing, and it has all kind of features. Hat is oriented at 45 degree. The hairs are having different kind of a texture. The face is having a homogeneous texture. So that is why it is a benchmark image for image processing applications. So I used to, find out textual features because I knew that I have to work on liver images. So it means I have to bother about texture features, not about shape features and color features. So I learned all the feature extraction algorithms like gray level co-occurrence matrix, GLCM, GLRL, gray level run length matrix, Fourier power spectrum based. There are different feature extraction methods in spatial domain as well as in frequency domain. So I wrote all those codes, and then implemented it on conventional Lina image. So by the time I had my image data set with me, I was very much equipped for implementing this feature extraction techniques and classification techniques. So I used to, once I had my data, I used to, I have by that time, that 1.5 years initial, I uh, learned all these algorithms, how to implement it on a dummy data set, and then I used to find out whether the parameters which I am getting are correct values or not by you looking at the values in different research papers. For linear image it is published generally. um, so what I after that I guided 5 PhD students in this area. So for initially, I used to carry forward like my work. The first student I took, I gave him the problem of you know developing a CAD system for breast ultrasound images. Now this ultrasound image is a secondary type of an image modality when it comes to breast cancer, and it is only carried out for those women who are carrying fetus, because X-ray may produce harmful effect for their fetus. So the women who are pregnant, they undergo this breast ultrasound images. So I thought the data collection will take much time. So I advised my research scholar to choose a topic for which benchmark data is already available on the internet. And so we got one data set, and then we uh, proceeded with it, and then we tried with her. Not only the textural parameters but also the shape parameters were important. So we evaluated shape parameters also, and then we concatenated the shape and texture parameters, and then implemented machine learning algorithms. Now with my then I took another PhD student for which I worked on blood cell images, leukemia. So for CAD system for leukemia, we realized that not only the texture and color, but also shape features are important. So we evaluated the shape features also and color features also, and then we worked with it. And then with my latest two PhD students, I have started working with deep learning algorithms. So you can, I'll suggest you to choose any particular body organ, and then for which you can see that the data set is available, and if it is, you see what the doctors are looking at those particular images, and then you widely choose the data augmentation methods, and then maybe try implementing different transfer learning based approaches, and then use fused approaches like the network which is giving you best accuracy, take the fully connected layer features, and then try to feed it to a machine learning classifier. Or I hope it will not be a very difficult task for you until and unless you converge on a particular body organ and you find out the data set.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Actually, sir, the students are to perform a test at 6:30. So we are
Okay.
right now
So,
having our validity
excuse me,
session.
ma'am.
Okay. All
Yes,
the best
madam.
for
Excuse
to
me,
all the
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
participants. Yes,
Yes,
please.
Excuse
ma'am.
me, sir.
Yes,
One
please.
question. Hi, sir. Sir, first of all, thank you so much for your wonderful session. Second, sir, one question is regarding in case of a medical imaging, as ma'am already asked a question, which data set nowadays is better to work to get a SCA paper publications? Because if we take a brain tumor, brain lesion, they have a lot of work, bone cancer. So, do you want to suggest any data set?
See, don't be afraid of getting an SCA index journal publication. See, it is you just don't that should not be your objective at this particular stage. The only thing is you must bother about is what kind of images dataset is available. See, if the dataset is available in the data for research, it has been pooled for research purposes for all researchers. There will be obvious, many people in the world will be using that dataset, and they will be working on it day and night to get their
Yes,
SCI
sir.
journal publication. Don't be afraid of it.
No,
You,
sir.
you,
It's not that any like medical imaging where we can do a wonderful work. It is less done. Any area you want to
You
suggest?
see, you see, when I was giving one topic to my PhD student, it was uh, deep learning approaches for mammographic image classification. It is a very generalized topic, so we keep PhD topic as a generalized topic. So so that my PhD student, she took 4 years for doing her PhD. But many of the people from Punjab University, Patiala, in the research panel, they were discouraging me that why are you taking this topic? Many people in the world are working on these images, so it will be very difficult for you. We are choosing this topic and we are very hopeful that we will be able to do it in our aim is just to just produce 2 SCI index journal publication in the span of 3 years, so that every researcher will be able to do. He will be able to find out some gap either in feature extraction stage or in feature selection stage or in classification stage. So I don't bother. It doesn't bother me that how many people are researching on this particular topic. You should not find out like this. You just find out the research gap in every field you choose. There will be many papers already published. There will be 200 papers, SCI journal publications on that particular data. But you have to just add to your 2 research papers over that particular bundle, that too in the span of 3 years. So you will always think differently. Like it is very important, even if you are implementing deep neural network, it is very important to have a thorough understanding of what radiologist is looking at the images. That will give you the research gap. In my
Yes, sir.
particular case, I was working on liver ultrasound images. I got my research gaps and the research gaps for my students when I interacted with when my students they interacted with the radiologist, that how are they saying that this is a particular case is hepatocellular carcinoma? How it is visually it is appearing like it is the secondary malignant case. How can you say that this is primary malignant? Then the doctor will say, "Oh, you are looking at the foreground. I am also looking at the background. The background tissue is uh, cirrhotic in nature. So that is why I am saying, looking at the background, I am predicting the foreground to be favoring HCC." So then once the doctor will say that you will take the ROI from the background also, and then the foreground also, and then you will compare, na? So
Yes,
the
sir.
so the many people, they just take the data, already existing algorithms. Real research gaps you will be able to find by talking with the radiologist. Radiologist will give you less time. You will be they are busy people. You have to be after them. But once they give you any particular key idea, you will be able to, from that particular key idea, you will be able to generate 5 SCI journal publications, not only one or two.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir,
Okay,
for
okay,
this
okay.
useful information. Thank you so much.
Anyway, for me, it was very nice interacting with all of you. I hope you also must have gained something. Uh, Anybody who wants to connect with me can just email me and try to respond.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for such an insightful session.
Okay. Thank you. Pleasure is all mine.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, so we are moving forward to our valedictory session. So as we have come to the conclusion of this enriching ATAL FDP on the healthcare and medtech, it gives me immense pleasure to address you on this valedictory occasion. Over past few days, this FDP has served as a vibrant platform for learning, discussion, and collaboration. The sessions thoughtfully covered emerging trends in healthcare and advancement in medical technology. Interestingly, research, innovation, and the critical role of the academia in shaping the future of the healthcare delivery. Each lecture and interaction uh, reinforce the fact that the healthcare and medtech are not just domains of technology but powerful instruments for social impact and human well-being. This program truly embodies the spirit of ATAL initiative, empowering educators, fostering innovators, and strengthening the connection between academia, research, and industry. The insightful talks by our eminent resource persons provided us with both theoretical depth and practical perspectives, inspiring us to rethink our teaching, research, and professional responsibilities. I would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to all the distinguished speakers who graciously shared their experience and expertise. Your contributions have greatly enriched this FDP and left lasting impression on all the participants. My heartfelt appreciation also goes to the program coordinator, Dr. Vipul Sharma, our director, Dr. Shisha Roda ji, our vice chancellor, Sri Sushil Mittal ji, and the supporting staff. Organizing an FDP on this scale is no small task, and the commitment deserves special recognition. To all the participants, I commend enthusiasm, active participation, and an eagerness to learn. Now, this FDP true spirit lies only in the completion, but the knowledge you have gained here and will be applied in your classrooms, in your laboratories, in your research and projects will be the real beneficial thing. So I again thank you very much to our organizing team and to the our participants. This FDP serves with these words, I declare the ATAL FDP on the healthcare and medtech successfully concluded. Thank you all for your participation and support. Thank you very much, dear participants. Thank you very much. So now I would like to have a feedback of few minutes. If any one of you wants to give some feedback, we are happy to listen, and it's over to you, dear participants. So if anybody wants to speak on camera or say something, then we'll be very delighted.
It was a wonderful FDP and we learned a lot from this. All speakers were really good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Vijay Pratap ji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ji. Thank you very much.
Anybody else?
Good
Well
evening, everyone.
coordinated by both of you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. It was very wonderful session every time, and the managing committee and the organizers are very well managed. And हमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं आई मैम, बहुत अच्छी आपकी FDP थी, सर की भी, and बहुत अच्छी मैनेजमेंट थी. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ji.
Thank you, ma'am, for a well coordinated FDP. Thank you to special thanks to Vipul sir also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Satyabrata. Thank you.
Thank you, the whole committee member, to organizing such a wonderful FDP, and thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
Ji.
Harpreet
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for organizing such a wonderful sessions. It's a very informative sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Ramneet ma'am.
Ji.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, welcome, ma'am. Please.
So I have enjoyed all the session, and some sessions are were very interactive. Okay, so I am from biomedical engineering, and my research area is biomaterials. So I was not. Uh, I don't have that any idea about that AI and that deep learning, machine learning, but I learned so many things here. So thank you for giving me the opportunities, and I wish you could arrange offline FDP or conference like that so that we can come and
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely.
yes, sir,
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
to your place. Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you so much,
all of
ma'am.
the participants have attended very well, but Hova ma'am has participated very attentively in the whole FDP in every session.
Thank you, sir.
So all the participants have participated very well, not Hova ma'am only, but her discussion is very good in the lectures.
Thank you, sir.
So I think now we can proceed with the test if feedback is done.
Yes, dear participants, all the best to you for your test. So the test is for 45 minutes and only 20 questions are there. Thank you very much.
Very
So
simple
kindly attempt.
questions. You can attempt the test on ATAL portal. Just log in at ATAL website by signing in, and there is one link assessment. Just click that link and accept all the guidelines there, and then you can give the test. And don't forget to give feedback also on the ATAL portal. So you have to do two things on the ATAL portal. One is you have to give the assessment test, and second is you have to give the feedback. You have to give the feedback for the FDP. So both are compulsory.
Sir, after finishing the test, should I again join here?
No, ma'am, we have already concluded the valedictory section. बिकॉज वी थॉट कि उसके बाद 1 आवर जो है वो हो सकता है कि किसी ने अपना टेस्ट अटेम्प्ट करना हो तो वो दोबारा वैलिडिक्टरी फंक्शन में ना आ सके ऑनलाइन तो दिस इज द रीजन वी हैव ऑलरेडी डन completed the valedictory session. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Sir, is there any deadline? Sir, is there any deadline to submit the assignment, sir? Like,
Ma'am, ma'am,
can we
as per
attend by 7:30 or 7:45?
as per the ATAL schedule, the test timings are from 6:30 to 7:30. So I suggest
Fine, sir.
you please do the test in this timeline only. If any
Sure,
problem
sir.
is there, then you can tell. Otherwise, I think the timeline is this.
Fine, sir.
Thank you so much, Vipul sir. You helped me a lot for joining the session.
Anand sir.
Yeah, Professor Anand sir.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir, for attending this FDP.
Yeah, thanks for you, sir, because I thought I'll not be able to attend only.
No.
But,
That's our duty, na sir. This is our
yeah,
duty to
thank you,
help
sir.
you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.